Productions!
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome to the part 2 of the fucking
the Wolf Thing Witch Massacre.
For people listening who might not be able to tell, but we've got fake teeth in because this week's episode, this month's episode, is about
Dentures.
dentures. Hello. That was daft, wasn't it? That was a bit of daftness to start proceedings. My name is Father Jenk. With me is, introduce yourself,
Pastor Wolf.
and this is the Wolf Thing Witch Massacre. It is a stormy night outside, isn't it? The moon is full.
Exceptionally stormy.
It
Ironically, we've done the second episode on a full moon.
On a full moon. I like the pattern that's forming already.
Definitely.
So, yeah, basically this episode, well, obviously, if we've done exorcisms, if you enjoyed exorcisms,
You won't enjoy this one.
this one's about vampires, which is more serious because exorcisms, demons, and God doesn't exist, whereas vampires do.
Yes.
And they will kill you. If there are any children listening to this now, the best thing you can do is never sleep again.
Yeah.
Because your parents have lied to you. Vampires are real and will kill you.
Yeah. Hollywood has lied to you that they are shiny little bastards, but actually they are none other than
Ruthless
raping,
killers.
pillaging, utter fuckers.
And
Boris Karloff type shit.
Yeah.
They'll kill you.
That kind of cunt.
So prepare to die.
Here we go. And so we're going to need to drink some blood. So we've got some blood. Move. Sacrificial blood from a plastic IKEA jug. That'll do you.
Removed the imposing fear of death.
I know, yeah. There we go. We'll stick that there so everyone can look at our blood. I pissed that out earlier.
That's why it's so clear. Filtered.
Oh, it tastes like cranberries as well. Doesn't it?
I saw you out on the privet eating berries.
Yeah, that was me. I've been in a fucking a giant half of a barrel all day with my fucking jeans rolled up, squashing them. But yeah, as I say, so we're going to talk about vampires this month. So take it away, Morva.
Vampires. How are we spelling vampires? How do you like to spell vampires?
Depends if my virginity is intact. With my virginity intact, I go with a Y. But if I'm a grown-ass adult, it's usually an I.
I don't know. I like the name with a Y.
Not vampire.
Vampire. Hello, my name is a vampire. I don't know why.
Yeah. It does sound like
it's a bit
a Greek disco dancer.
Well, funny you should talk about Greek.
Oh shit!
We're gonna go.
Well, where do you want to start?
Oh, where do you want to start? You tell me. From slide 2.
You're the man with a slide. Let's go from slide 1. What's slide 1?
So, where did the belief that vampires come from?
Did they exist? We've spoken about this. Okay, that's a short episode.
See you later. Bye.
See ya.
No.
Where does it come from? More?
Well, I mean, again, we do not believe. We do not disbelieve.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe. They're
believe
real. They're out there. I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've got examples of some.
I mean, if you had to pick, I'd rather be a vampire than any other sort of creature of the night.
Yeah. See, badass. I'm all about the werewolves.
Fuck what you want. Eat what you want. I mean,
we have spoke about this as children. We used to play a game in which Moore was a vampire.
Plus, you look at like vampires. They all have the fit birds, don't they?
That's true. But if Twilight's anything to believe,
fuck that shit.
they both have the pick.
Yeah, but would you be a werewolf from Twilight?
Would have thought.
Which is basically, remember them shitty books that used to be around? You just get Animorphs.
Yeah.
That's basically what that film is. It's just a crap Animorph film.
It is crap.
Not that they were that were decent at all anyway.
No.
Right, okay. So, vampires themselves, the idea of a vampire, the name vampire, hasn't been around for as long as people believing there was creatures that drank blood.
There are different names.
Yeah, which from different cultures and backgrounds and whatever. Yeah. The term vampire was basically widely reported, and the name came from Eastern European folklore between the 17th and 18th century.
Is it something to do with witch?
Yes.
Has it not?
So, did you read this?
No, I've also been doing my homework.
So,
and I'm a fucking nerd. Sorry I mean, you've known me for 30 years.
So the notion of vampires, from what I found out, it has existed for a millennia.
Yeah.
A millennia.
Fuck,
Get
mate.
that word out.
That's
millennia.
That's such a long amount of time that Robbie Williams wrote a song about.
Millennia. Suck the blood out that virgin girl. She tastes so good, like cranberry juice. So,
go on.
Cultures such as the
Mesopotamians.
That's the word. I can't say these words. I don't know what it is. Today, for a lot of this research, there was words where I was like, I can't read that. So I had to go into Google Translate and get him to spell out the words for me.
Even though I've got a stutter, I'm quite good at pronouncing shit.
So such as
the Mesopotamians,
Hebrews, ancient Greeks, Manipuri, and Romans all had tales of demons and spirits, which were, as far as they were concerned, were creatures of the night that in all the different cultures, they ultimately fed on people, but there were a lot. They ever fed on there were women that fed on young men, or men that fed on young women. Ancient civilizations basically, and then it kind of all changed. So as it all went through history, as you got to like the 17th and 18th century, that's where it all came along with the more smartly dressed,
the more modern,
tailored vampire,
the sexy vampire.
Back in the day, it was all I think it was ancient Greeks. They used to talk about these creatures being bloated. Yeah, large, horrible, bloated creatures that rose from the dead, like
the one from Blade.
What, the big thing? The
big fucking fat one that squeals.
I don't know.
It's on about the Magna Carta and shit, and it's going, "Man, Blade, ooh, that's what happened." And he's going, "Oh, fancy seeing you here. Oh, what you doing?" And he's like,
"You know what? Actually, I fucking love that film, and I didn't even think about that film
Blade's
today.
amazing.
I didn't even think about that film today.
Do you know?
No, I didn't think about that film. I literally thought of two films: Bram Stoker's Dracula and An Interview with a Vampire, of which I've both watched this week in preparation. Blade, I was like, Blade.
No, you didn't touch it.
I didn't touch it.
The barge pole, mate. Especially the second and third one.
I don't mind the second one.
It's all right. But the third one is.
It was Del Toro that did that one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and I like the old.
The kind of slightly Predator.
Yeah, bit of a twist. I liked all the fight sequences. As you know, I like a good action movie. It was quite good. But yeah, here we go. So, belief in vampires and such beings were believed to be either suicide victims or witches, according to Greeks. I don't know how you connect suicide victims to witches.
I think it's a kind of thing as if to say, it's like, if you do that, you're going to hell. Yeah. It's that kind of shit. Don't do it. Not that, why it bothers any fucker out. I mean, obviously, suicide bothers people. But, like, you know what I mean? It's, why build a belief around it that you will turn into a creature of the night?
That's exactly what they never called them, vampires. There was no actual name for them. They were just things, demons or entities, spirits that came along.
Shits.
Yeah. It's really weird when I got into like the subject of looking at how they, I wouldn't say stop the creation of zombies, fucking hell, wrong episode. Stop the creation of vampires, how they actually stopped them from rising in the night to do it. So they were like, well, there's vampires, but we can't kill them, so we'll just stop them.
I looked into it. There was a lot of people uncovering graves from
mass
years
hysteria,
ago.
staking old bodies,
and shoving rocks in their mouth.
Yeah.
What? So what if, hundreds of years old grave was dug up, and they were like, oh, they thought this guy was a vampire. Maybe he was walking along, chewing a rock, and he fell on a fucking stick. Maybe that. You don't know what people used to get up to for fun.
Loads.
Maybe he was playing look, stick ball or something.
And he just went, oh shit.
Yeah, maybe he's playing. Yeah, he just went, oh fucking hell, was that
don't know,
hard,
maybe
bird?
he was really poor, and you know when you people throw like a M&M in the air to catch it, he just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw a stone in the air, pebble.
This is literally the smallest rock I can find at the time.
So yeah, so again, it goes back to that word that I can't say. Hebrews, ancient Greeks, Manipuri, Romans, even ancient China, who believed as well. This is really weird. I mean, how you would even make this connection? I mean, we're obviously anyone who knows about vampires. No one really knows anything about vampires. But
Giles from Buffy, he knows quite a bit.
He know quite, but you know about all demons, didn't he?
He did, to be fair. He's quite a wise cunt.
I never really understood why you would call her the vampire slayer. Bear in mind that
it's one
thing,
one female in a generation.
I mean, I never watched it, but I'm pretty confident it was only the first season that was ever about a vampire that wanted to kill everyone. Everything else was about something else.
I think they did.
Didn't she shag more vampires than she killed?
She shagged a fair few.
I mean, vampire slayer?
Vampire fucker.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
well, come on, David Boreanaz. If David Boreanaz walked in here now, all moody.
Giles?
No, David Boreanaz is Angel.
Down.
Yeah, that's Buffy. But Angel is David Boreanaz. If David Boreanaz walked in here right now, I'd fuck him.
To be honest,
even if it was my job to kill him, I'd fuck him.
I really wanted to get like a long leather coat and be Spike.
What? Just today?
Just today.
I have got his hair, you know.
That's you know what I mean,
mate. Shit. So you're watching David Boreanaz and Spike, who can't remember the fucking actor of.
I'll fucking take it.
Who's American? It's the guy who played.
Oh yeah,
Spike
he's English in the program, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Why? Nothing about him looks remotely Europe.
I think it was his back, like the backstory that come up for the character.
Shit. Where did the leather jacket come from?
Vampires, man, they love leather.
They love leather. They love a bit of leather.
Go on.
So yeah, here's a fun fact for you. How do you think the ancient Chinese believed that again, they didn't know there were vampires, but they believed these certain night creatures that came from the night were created?
How did they
you
come up with the idea?
Well, how did they believe that vampires were created?
I don't know. Unless they read loads of Anne Rice books, I haven't got a fucking clue.
So when they buried their dead, if ever an animal, mainly a dog or a cat, jumped over the grave, they would be slightly concerned that was going to come back and kill them.
Yeah.
So don't have any pets in China. That might be why I don't know why
they're quite frivolous with what they eat.
Yeah, dogs. Fucking we might have a mass vampire epidemic.
You'd have a big sign on the front of the fucking.
Don't let your dogs jump over the dead bodies.
Just no dogs. No dogs. Because it saves the vampires.
Russian folklore believed that vampires were once witches that rebelled against the Russian Orthodox Church.
Fucking
pretty specific, isn't it? Really?
It is, yeah.
You know, well,
you doing what? Yeah, I'm done with it. Like I'm just gonna sack it off.
You must be a witch. Therefore, you must
be a bit of red
there,
mate. There's a bit of red there. You're a fucking vampire.
So then, Greco-Roman mythology as well. They believed that that it came that the obviously again no idea that they were vampires, just knew there was these creatures, and they had many different names for these creatures: Strigas, Lamia, Strix, all these different mythical monsters essentially that all fed on the living, the living. So Greco-Roman mythology described the Empusa, the Lamia, and the Mormo, and the Strigas.
I've heard that word in me homework. I don't know why I can't think of the word fucking research.
They were basically words to describe witches and demons, believed to be creatures that would come up and they were undead creatures that
feed
would feed on the living. Empusa, where Empusa would come from, she was a goddess and the daughter of Hecate, and was described as a demonic bronze-footed woman. Exactly, and she feasted on the blood by transforming into a young woman and seduced young men. Yeah, crazy. But there's it goes back and back and back and back. But a lot of these things, it's mythology, isn't it? All mythology connects to one another. So when there's invasions from countries to countries, they share their mythology through that. So, I mean, I don't know my dates.
Come on, let's stop fighting for a minute. What have you got in your country? We have like, you know, our cuisine's quite nice, but you know what we have got? Fucking the dead come back to life. Sexy as fuck. and suck the shit out of us. Like, we've got that.
Yeah.
Have you? Let's be mates.
So the word vampire, or as it was originally known, vampire, first appeared in English in 1732.
Yeah.
News reports about vampire epidemics in Eastern Europe.
Bastards.
So, and again, I mean, when I was looking at it, a lot of it links to actually a lot of plagues that were going around at the time as well. So no one... I thought he was going to press a button.
No, sorry, I wasn't.
I thought I was expecting some sort of chilling noise.
We could just do that again. Just because we liked it so much from last time.
So it's killed me now.
Go on.
So yeah, so the word vampire first appeared in the English language in 1732 in news reports about the vampire epidemic in Eastern Europe. So vampires had already been discussed in French and German literature. After Austria... Discussed, yeah.
Do you mean like scholars are throwing it back and forth?
We'll get there, yeah, definitely.
Oh, shit.
So I found some actual like quotes from actual...
scholars of the time.
Scholars, like anywhere, librarians. One of them was a guy that actually worked at the Vatican Library.
Yeah.
Who actually produced...
Was he like Giles from Buffy?
I mean, he's probably...
Because he was a library.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe it was him, I don't know.
Was he English?
He wrote an actual bit
kind of good looking.
I don't know. I didn't see a picture of this guy.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
Where was I? Here we go, yeah. So, after Austria gained control of northern Serbia and Oltenia with the Treaty of Pasoric in 1718, officials noted the local practice of exhuming bodies and killing vampires. So, when they took over this country and they were going through all these sort of documents they found, I don't know, wherever they would get documents from, I don't know, local, I don't know, embassies, I don't know what was there. But there was actually reports of people in around there that were killing or destroying remains that they believed to be vampires, and these people were like, what the fuck's a vampire? And it was probably people that died of plagues and disease and stuff like that, and they probably just wrote down vampire as a term, I don't know. Because it wasn't until like, we'll get to that in a minute, but yeah.
When someone turned up, like back in the day, someone turned up really pale and dressed as a fucking sexy leather daddy, and he was like in a fucking duster.
Maybe he was just he just wanted to be kinky.
Maybe
he just didn't get out that much in the sun.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, these people.
It's a poor not being kinky, isn't it?
Sex dungeons don't leave the dungeon, do they?
No, they don't. No.
Don't get you
pale as fuck.
You don't get your vitamin C, man. D or C, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's getting too much vitamin D.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Got that vitamin B for blood. Oh, puns.
So, cultural beliefs. How to avoid the creation of vampires.
How to avoid the creation?
The creation of a vampire.
Okay. So not like killing them?
So, I never actually, when I was looking through all these different things and different cultures and whatever, not one of them really mentioned any specific of someone. So they fed on blood.
Yeah.
But at no point did it ever say that when you bit someone, they became a vampire.
Yeah.
I never found any of that.
No.
Never.
No.
I think that was created by Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or
probably Bram Stoker.
Well, Bram Stoker. I didn't realise Bram Stoker's book was written a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, quite well back.
Like over 100
he's
years
not
ago.
alive.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was like a recent. I thought I didn't know. Well, there you go.
Quite a long time ago.
So many cultures believe that burying a body upside down will stop it returning as the undead. So basically, face down, ass up.
Face down, ass up.
Yeah,
that's the way you like to fuck.
Or not become a vampire.
That isn't in the same song though. They did
or
not
maybe
write those lyrics in those songs.
Maybe it was just like that's what they meant, and they just didn't want.
Yeah.
The smart people would think it out.
Yes. Bury him face down with his arse hanging out the fucking grave, mate.
That must have made it put someone in a fucking coffin quite difficult.
Yeah.
Did you have to build like a special bit for their arse to stick upwards?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they were fucking bothering with coffins back then. I think it was just, is that an old? It'll fucking do. Stick him in.
We're going to dig him up later anyway and destroy him.
Pop this fucking rock in his mouth as well.
Oh, to be honest, when I die, I want that to be done to me now. Fill me full of stones.
Where's my pen? I was going to make a note.
Testament.
Make a note.
Just fill me full of rocks.
He wanted it this way.
The coffin will weigh a ton.
People are crying and going, Jake, why did you do that? It's like,
why the fuck is he being...
Part two. What's part two?
Why is he being dumped into the grave off the back of a fucking huge forklift? Well, you don't know what he was in there with at the moment. fucking filled with cinder blocks and everything.
Yeah.
Placing earthly objects such as scythes, sickles near the grave to satisfy any demons entering the body or to appease the dead so that it would not wish to arise from its coffin. So again, that goes back.
I did see. I don't know if you're going to mention this in a minute, but I did see a lot of a lot of suspicion of vampires started coming around because people used to leave food for their dead.
Yes,
and then when they went,
someone's eating that.
No. I think it was like more of a when people started going, right, food's getting a bit scarce, or there's more in the family. They stopped doing it, and that's when they got like paranoid visions that the dead were like going, I'm fucking starving down here. Right, I'm gonna fucking come out, right, and eat you. You can't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having. I'm having you for fucking dinner.
I mean, why not?
There should have been a fucking Five Guys on my
fresh meat. Fresh meat.
What I wanted was a fucking Nando's on my gravestone, and your bastards ain't left.
That's how culture's gonna go, though. People are like, oh, where do you want to be buried? Next to McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be. When I come back to life, if we are to believe the Holy Scriptures,
I reckon
when Judgment Day arises, I want to get a Big Mac before I go see the big man. That's what you're gonna want.
Fair play.
So ancient Greek practices of placing an obulus in the corpse's mouth to pay the toll to cross the river Styx.
Yeah.
Or they used to place coins on their eyes.
Yeah. To pay the ferryman.
I mean, it's really weird that all this stuff, because I love ancient history anyway, but I knew about this stuff anyway, but I didn't know this was related to anything to do with vampires. I thought that was just tradition because they needed to pay the toll to get across the river Styx.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Yeah, so I can't even read my own bloody words now. We'll move on to the next one. Other methods commonly practiced in Europe, including severing the tendons at the knees to ensure you wouldn't come back. So if you did come back, you'd fall over.
Yeah.
So you'd just be a clumsy vampire. I don't really think it would stave off the first of
just
blood.
be like some kids like stood outside a fucking cemetery at night going, he's like just fucking literally keeps getting up and falling over again. I'm gonna fucking suck your blood in a minute, you little cunt. And they're going, yeah, fucking get up. Come on up along, fucking way.
This is the weirdest one though.
Go on.
So what they also, this is in some places in Europe. When they buried their dead, they used to place with them bags of grain, sand, poppy seeds, because for whatever reason they believed that vampires suffered with arithmomania, which is basically a form of OCD where when you see things you have to count it.
Arithmomania?
Yeah.
I've got that.
So you must be a vampire then?
No, I mean, like, I just love the riff. We both do. We're both Sabbath fans. Mate, we love High on Fire, Sleep.
I mean arithmetic.
Oh, okay.
With
a TH?
Yeah, with a TH. Arithmomania.
I'm a riff maniac, son.
So
I fucking love the riff.
I don't know how they came up with the idea that vampires had OCD, but they would believe that if they woke up in the night, rather than to stave off the first of blood, they would go, hang on a minute, there's a bag of sand here. I'm going to count each grain, and by the time they'd counted it, the sun was up, and they were dead.
They want bollocks.
And fuck me.
Bollocks.
Fuck me. Yeah. Show me something you've got. I'm on 5 now.
Yeah. Me? What you get? I was going to get to some mine a bit in a
Sorry,
I've got a bit.
I do apologise if I cough. I am getting over my own disease. I had COVID.
Do you want to go into your protection of vampires?
Protection of
you
vampires.
go into that, and then we'll do some more pop stuff.
Pop stuff.
Pop stuff.
What, music?
No, I mean like popular culture stuff.
This is a bastard now because this is that word. So again, I had to learn how to say this word. So, apotropiax.
That sounds sick. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You hit the steak on the fucking head of it.
Atropiax. I'm going to go with that. Atropiax.
Atropiax,
anyway. Yeah. Basically, atropiax.
Yeah.
They're items of... It's kind of linking back to our episode on exorcisms, which if you haven't watched yet...
Religious idols and such.
Yes, exactly that. So
And if you haven't watched that yet, go back and watch it.
Yeah, don't watch this one.
You don't. It's not like 2. You don't have to watch 1 before 2.
No, I'm going to say you do.
But please go watch it.
So, items able to ward off revenants, which is another word I found for vampires or undead or for creatures of the night, revenants, are common in vampire folklore. So, one of the most common one, which you see in a lot of movies, but it's not actually from pop culture. It is one that they believed would work, was garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Why?
Fuck knows, they don't like garlic. I don't know.
Play.
Whack out a spag bowl, kill a vampire.
Mate, chuck it at him.
Fuck off.
Garlic bread. Is that why Peter Kay has yet to be eaten? Because he's fucking full of saying garlic bread. Honest to God. That'd be brilliant. If Peter Kay could beat him, I'd do nothing against Peter Kay. Peter Gay?
Peter Gay?
That was a slip of the tongue. Peter Kay. I've got nothing against him, but if someone offered me to watch him be ravaged by vampires...
What, Peter Kay?
Peter Kay. I'd be down with that.
You want to see him mutilated by a vampire?
Most people, to be fair. Come to think of it, any cunt, you, me mum, fuck, I don't care, bollocks.
Well, I want to come back as well. I think it'd be pretty cool. A branch of wild rose or hawthorn are said to harm vampires as well. And in Europe, sprinkling mustard seeds on the roof of a house was said to keep them away.
They're not that hard, really, are they?
Not really, mate.
I mean,
your basic cupboard full of herbs and spices will keep one away from you. You know what I mean?
Just chuck a fucking spice rack at them, and they'll be fucked. That's it.
To be funny, I found nothing to do with Indian culture and their vampires, probably because they use so much spices and herbs in their food. They're just like, we ain't travelling the fucking seas over there. We'll just die instantly.
Yeah, fuck it.
Other atropiacs include items, for example, a crucifix, rosary, as in the herb, not the beads, or holy water.
Oh, good.
Or holy water.
Holy water.
But again,
is holy water specifically Catholic, Christian?
Well, I don't know, because how do they know?
Do they do other?
I don't know. Who else has holy?
We don't know. Obviously,
do Jews have holy water?
We've only got to the one school. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do they have a holy fluid of sort?
I don't know, because didn't. Oh, let's get off this. We don't know.
We don't know.
Fact checkers, tell us.
Alfie, bottom.
Yeah, stick it. Do they? I can't. I'd love to watch him fucking Google that. And he's in the middle of listening to fucking Title Fight and Chubby in the Gang, and he's got to go, oh fuck, I've got to search about fucking.
So, going with the holy water one, vampires are said. Who the fuck knows? Vampires are said to be unable to walk on consecrated ground, such as churches, temples, or cross running water. Now, I don't know what's the difference between running water and holy water, apart from the fact it's been blessed. So they can fuck off across a lake. So if I chucked a bottle of Evian at them, that wouldn't kill them.
Or a pond.
But if I fucking threw it on the floor and it moved about, they couldn't cross it.
Yeah.
I mean, running water
but
is
I'm thinking,
water,
like, bodies of water. If you had a swimming pool, which ain't going anywhere.
You're fucked, mate. He's going to chase you around, the bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't jump in it. Well, unless he can't swim. But he doesn't breathe, does he?
That's true.
So effectively, live on a mountain where there's constantly water.
Live on a mountain.
That's how you get away from it.
All right, I've got a joke. I'm going to do an Alf. This is Jenk's joke of the part, because we're saying part instead of episode, all week, month.
Why?
Because we're rock and roll at us, dude. Me and you.
Part.
This is part 2.
Oh,
this is not episode 2.
Oh, anyway, I remember the conversation.
This is my joke, right. So there was these two priests. They were in a car going down a road. Hang on, let me
start again.
There's these two priests, and they're going down the road in the car. All of a sudden, out of the bushes,
fucking hell,
rushes a vampire standing in the middle of the road. Screeched the car to a halt. The vampire raises his arms, blood frothing from his mouth. And he says, I will kill you and I will drink your blood. I don't care if you are holy man, you will die tonight. So one priest gets out the car and the other one says, show it your cross. And the priest standing outside the car goes, get out of the fucking road, you toothy twat. We're driving here. There we go.
That was brilliant, that was. When you said, I thought you were going to do that old cartoon then.
What was that?
I don't know why you started that then. It was the first lines of that. Remember the cartoon with the skeletons?
Oh, down Funny Bones? Yeah. I thought I was doing fucking Funny Bones.
That's what I thought you were going.
Fucking hell. No, it's not Funny Bones.
You'll like the title of this next slide: Methods of Destruction.
Oh.
I couldn't.
You and Hallmark need to get together, son.
Methods of destruction. So staking, which I found out wasn't. I mean, okay, it's in all films and all types of programs, but Russia and the areas, Baltic areas, whatever the areas they would be. I don't know what areas they would be. Created stakes using ash.
Ash?
Wood, ash
wood. Fair play.
Would a bit soft though, wouldn't it?
I mean, I don't know what that noise was. But, I mean...
Ash is soft, isn't it?
I love the only bit... I think the only film,
Sorry.
which we will get onto film shortly, because... Oh, you're not gonna. The only film that really addresses the fucking staking of a fucking vampire is...
It's in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, but how easy it is to do is...
Easy.
From Dusk Till Dawn, where Tom Savini is going, it seems like they need, in the films they get staked from the heart, but it's not as hard. Like, it would be hard to stake a man, but these vamps are soft and mushy. And that was Tom Savini. He said that. Tom Savini, horror god of horror. I love you, Tom Savini.
I'm glad you said that.
But, I think that's the only, it would be fucking well difficult to stake anyone, wouldn't it?
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's hard.
You'd have to get really specific, find a rib.
The whole point of the rib cage up to this part is to protect your organs.
Yeah.
So to try and break through something that is essentially rock hard bone. And, evolution has told you that they need to be there to protect your vital organs.
Obviously, Blade as well. Second Blade, we've spoke this second time. Second time with Blade, the one where the vampires have progressed.
Oh, yeah.
There's a strain and they have like a literal rib cage around their heart, so they can't get stacked.
But I always wonder about the heart. Why? They don't breathe.
I think it's a blood thing, isn't it? It must be a blood thing. I mean, stake for the heart, chop the head off. That'd kill any cunt. I think it's just tried and true. You know what I mean?
That's it. Really.
I just think it's just like, you know what, I'll do it. Just chop his fucking head off. I've chopped loads of heads off and they never fucking get up.
Well,
There's a couple of chickens, maybe.
They also used aspen wood as well, because apparently they believed that the cross that Christ was on was made out of that wood.
Oh, maybe that's for why then.
But I don't think it was made out of ash, because if Christ was put on an ash crucifix, it would have bent under his weight. It would have been fucking pointless. Another one.
Balsa wood.
Yeah. Fucking
just
hell.
falling off.
That Last Supper he had, he weighs a ton. He keeps breaking the crucifixes.
He's absolutely skinny as fuck. It's just the only wood we could get was some dowel from down fucking Hobbycraft. Be brilliant.
Fucking stupid paper straws. Fucking.
I just gaffer taped a couple of chopsticks together, and he doesn't seem to want to stay on the bastard.
I mean, it's a bit daft, isn't it? Really,
it is a bit daft.
It's a bit daft. So piercing. This is a weird one. Piercing the skin of the chest was a way of deflating bloated vampires. So going back to what I said earlier about the idea that vampires will
they fucking fly around the room like a balloon.
Yeah. Veruca Salt.
And then just do that. They just like kind of glide to the floor like an empty sack of twat.
This is similar to the practice of the anti-vampire burial, which is burying sharp objects such as sickles with the corpse so they may penetrate the skin of the body, and sufficiently while transforming into a revenant. Yeah. And I even put here, relate to bullet point 2 on vampire folklore, so apparently it's back to that bit.
Oh, mate. Fucking love it. So what's the next one?
Decapitation, which you've already mentioned. Obviously, you do that.
Chop the fucker's head off.
Chop the fucker's
head off. Say anyone.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, that's what they did at the end.
They did, yeah.
He was killed by his wife, or his reincarnated wife.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible in that. The thing is, I love that film, but my God, there's only 2 actors in it that are credible. The rest are shite, aren't they?
Like, I love how much fun Anthony Hopkins is having.
Because he was pissed when he did it, that's why.
Yeah.
He was
just
pissed at his tree.
My old friend! He's going fucking insane.
He never really talks about the fact that he's Van Helsing. They just say, it's Dr. Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Yeah,
he goes, right.
I'm here. Who was the cowboy?
The cowboy? It was just, I think it was...
Oh, baby, we're going to sort you out today,
he was just there to make
and the guy
Lucy Westenra seem a bit more of a... a bit more of a fucking brass dart. If you
had the guy from I think you just said his name. He was from that really shit take the piss spoof Robin Hood film. He was the other guy, wasn't he? Why was he there? Who cast that?
And he was in Saw.
It makes no fucking sense. Yeah. He was in Saw.
Alfie, we can't remember his name. He was in Saw, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's the
Find him and stick him here.
Well, I mean, the guy that directed that film directed The Godfather Part 1 and 2.
Is Martin Scorsese?
No, Martin Scorsese. It was fucking hell. It was the guy that directed the Godfather 1 and
Alfie,
Godfather
stick
2.
it with you.
Like, you know, this is a guy that directed 2 of the greatest films ever. And again, I just want to state for the record, I really fucking like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant film. But
it's very horny.
Yes, it's that red. The redhead. She could take me back to a glass coffin.
That's with that famous. We're not doing really good on names.
No, terrible.
She let's leave who was in that fucking film. But Keanu Reeves in that film is.
It's when he's sitting there at the table with Winona Ryder and fucking what's his face?
Gary Oldman.
No. Van Helsing.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
And he's tucking into his steak, and obviously he's just come back from Dracula's house.
Yeah.
Castle. And he's like, I know where the bastard lives. I sold it to him. It's Carfax Abbey.
I love the bit like he's been gone for years.
And he comes back with his fucking grey streak.
And it just seems like Dracula has done nothing to him but chuck fucking flour at him. Because he just looks a bit dusty.
That bit where he's in the bed and obviously all Dracula's brides crawl on top of him. So basically just molest him. And he's like, ah!
Yeah.
Can we have a picture of that in there? Just him screaming.
Yeah. It's the face he makes when I think that's just happened.
They're feasting a baby.
And then Dracula turns up with a baby. And goes, hey up, supper's up.
And he crawls on stage.
I'd love it if for Dracula, for his brides, did it like, I'll feed my cats.
I must admit, he is...
And put a fucking bowl of baby
He's
out.
brilliant in that film, though.
Gary Oldman
is amazing in that film.
Well, we have... Took you long enough, Gary. Fucking hell. I think he watched the Lugosi film and went, I'm going to leave it twice as long as that. So he went, I never drink.
Wine.
Yep. Yeah, sound. Yeah. Yep. Hang on. Just got to say wine. Wine. Mate, he milks it.
He's brilliant in that film, though.
What's
He's really good in that film.
You know the bit where I think it's when Keanu Reeves comes back,
yes.
And him and Winona are all lovey-dovey again.
What's his name in it? Oh, Charles, I've missed you so much,
I can't remember his name. Tom Waits is in that film,
yes,
and he plays Renfield.
Yes.
And he's going, the master will come. It's fucking amazing. But like the bit, there's a bit where they're getting back together. Somehow Dracula knows this, but he's gone young again, and he's got his dark hair, and he's going like that, crying with his, and then he looks up and he's got like a weird pygmy
he's
sloth.
got like a weird nose.
It's just weird. And he starts going, Moise, Moise, Moise. And then candles blow out, and then he kills Lucy. I think that's when that happens.
He rapes her as a wolf.
He does. He rapes her as what would you call? He's like a werewolf for a minute, isn't it?
Well, I mean, obviously, Bram Stoker was the one. Bram Stoker was the first person to. Well, we'll get to Vlad the Impaler in a minute anyway, but
we'll get to him. Wait for him,
Bram Stoker, not Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realise this, so I learned that because I assumed that Vlad the Impaler throughout history was known to be some. They linked him to this to be a creature of the night or a vampire, whatever. But he never was. Never was. It was Bram Stoker was the first person to link Vlad. And it was only because he didn't know anything about Vlad the Impaler. Never did any research when he wrote the book. He just found this guy and thought he sounds pretty cool. I'll make some lore about him because he did all this horrible shit and he did some really fucked up shit.
He did do some fucked up shit.
Fucked up shit.
Shall we have a look at Vlad now?
You want to
get your Vlad slowed up? I love a bit of Vlad the Impaler.
So I'm going to hit you.
He was a fucking nutcase.
Mate, I mean, I didn't do much in him because I thought you could take over the whole episode, but I'll just go in big and bold, man.
Going on Vlad.
And bold. So, he invented cruel and horrible ways of killing his enemies.
Love torture.
Fucking right. So, Vlad had a big copper cauldron.
What did he put in his big copper cauldron movie?
And the lid was made out of wood and had holes in it. At the bottom of the lid, holes in it.
Yeah.
And what he would do is fill this with, I don't know, whatever he wanted to boil in there, liquid, water, oil, whatever. Yeah. And then he would put people in it, but he would stand them up. And then this lid would sit on top of them, so their heads were inside the lid.
Yeah.
So as they boiled from the foot up to the neck, they were screaming and he could see them screaming. He basically made his impaling quite tame in comparison to the other shit that he did.
a creative.
He was a bastard of a man.
He was a creative.
And yet, renowned.
A creative bastard, but...
he's reportedly one of the heroes of Romania. They believe it. Their culture. They love him because obviously he saved
he shunned
the Ottomans back.
Yeah,
Saxons,
and
loads
it
of them.
Who else? The fucking
loads of them.
Loads from you.
Saxons and the Ottomans were the two.
But that's that. Let's for anyone under a fucking rock watching a strange podcast about vampires. I don't know why you wouldn't know this anyway. But his name's Vlad the Impaler because he I think it was like top 3 things to do.
It was his signature move.
He loved a big spike, and he went, give me that cunt. I'm gonna stick him on a big spike. I think he went up through the anus
and then out through the mouth.
Yeah, usually.
So his favourite people to impale were women, and he particularly liked women that had children, specifically just given birth to newborn babies. Ooh. So what he would do is he would impale these women on these spikes, but obviously these babies were still they were still breastfeeding at the time.
Yeah.
So he would attach them to them. So they were still basically feeding whilst they had a spike through their ass and their mouth.
Yeah.
And then once the baby how can a baby realise if something's dead? It's a baby. I mean, how's it going to know? But obviously once the person had died through, I don't know, would you be dead?
I don't know. I'm guessing they'd notice. Because obviously babies like love a heartbeat.
He would then slice off one of their breasts and shove the baby's head in and let them, and basically said they're impaled together. He was a bastard.
He was a rough
essentially a bastard of a man.
Essentially.
The idea of him drinking blood, because it's renowned that he used to do it.
Yeah.
It was all speculative, and apparently it was probably embellished by all the people that he'd basically massacred, so they were scared of him, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
There is nothing to say that he actually did. The only thing there is there's pictures of him dining. He used to have his dinner amongst all these steaks.
Obviously paintings.
Yeah.
Not
actual photographic evidence.
There's not a Polaroid nicking around.
No. So he'd sit there having his dinner amongst all these steaks.
With a selfie stick. Someone impaled halfway down his selfie stick.
So he used to sit there and have his dinner, whatever he was eating, whilst all these people basically just died in
an agony around him.
In an agony.
He was definitely a masochist.
He was a vile bastard. So the name Vlad the Impaler came from him impaling more than 20,000 people and killing as many as 60,000 during his bloody reign. Which actually doesn't really sound like a lot when you compare it to some, but the way he fucking did it is pretty traumatic.
I think, back then,
he only liberated...
Populations were less.
It was only Romania.
Armies were probably less.
He wasn't like he wasn't like the Roman Empire. He was just in his area, so that's probably a lot of people.
Yeah,
for the area that he was in.
Yeah.
Wallachia, so he was...
Well, upwards of 10's quite a few
they
for
call
doing that.
them...
If you're doing that, upwards of 10.
Yeah, they didn't have kings and queens there. And the area where he looked after was called Wallachia. Which I don't think exists anymore. I don't think.
Is he the groundskeeper? He looked after it. I shoved them around every night.
What I'm saying is they don't have there wasn't a royal family or a king. They had things called voivods or something, and they were basically warlords. They were elected warlords, and they controlled the army, but then they controlled the area. And Wallachia was an area of, I'm assuming it was Romania. I don't know. Fact check me, but it doesn't. I don't think Wallachia exists anymore. The name Wallachia is something else now.
It will be, yeah.
And it was his dad. The reason why Bram Stoker went to him is because his dad was called Vlad Dracul.
Vlad Dracul.
It was where he was called Vlad Tepes III.
Yeah.
And then he became Vlad the Impaler. And then I think he got the name Vlad the Dragon as well.
Yeah,
but it was his dad.
Dracul means dragon.
Yeah, but it was his dad that had the name Vlad Dracul.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything that suggested.
Please. Dracul was my father's name. Call me Vlad.
The Impaler.
The Impaler.
But I couldn't find anything.
Call me Vlad, or I'll stick you on a fucking spike.
I couldn't find anywhere to suggest that he was an utter bastard like his son.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a right. And he died in 1476 when he was ambushed by an Ottoman patrol, and he was reportedly on BBC News decapitated. He had his head chopped off, and he was sent to the Sultan of Constantinople as a trophy because he was such a
shit to them,
an absolute bastard. But he saved his country,
or
his area.
I suppose back then it was a lot more
Vicious.
There was a little bit less.
There was
sat down
loads, but
having
you
a
had
chat.
like Attila the Hun. He was another absolute bastard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it was the only reason why he's even associated with anything to do with like vampires is simply because. And again, I didn't know this, but I just assumed it was through history that people thought he was. No, it was Bram Stoker writing his book, and he found, I like that guy. He seems interesting. Fuck it, I'll link him to the story.
I'll make some shit up about that.
He invented Dracula essentially. Well, not the name, but he came up with the what we see as Dracula.
Yeah, the modern vampire.
Yeah, the vampire, Dracula.
Modern vampire.
Because that's where the modern vampire, like the smartly dressed, you know,
it comes from
Lestat looking vampire. If you don't know who Lestat is, you need to go watch Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire.
Brilliant film.
Well, let's go with. I'm going to go with the button. Right,
That's
it's time for the Jenk and Maul's top 5 vampires. Maul, do you want to go? You're going to go from 5 to 1.
Why don't we do 5-5, 4-4?
Okay. You do your
I'm going
5th.
to turn my screen.
Okay.
Do we do the number 5?
5.
So mine is Marlowe from 30 Days of Night.
Nice one.
He's the main one.
Good vampire.
Because he's fucking brilliant. I love that. I mean, I will say all mine are very much associated with films. One of them is actually from a video game, but films.
All of mine are, well, kind of.
And I think it's just because, we should say this is our 5 favourite vampires associated with films, TV,
I'm down with
and
that.
any form of media.
Yeah,
So
just any.
Marlowe, 30 Days of Night. I love that design. I love that film. That film is
it's a tits film.
fucking brilliant. It's my favourite vampire film, I reckon.
It's a banging film.
It's brilliant. It's terrifying.
It's solid.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I like the guy
And-
that plays the stowaway.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in it.
And the way they show but don't show.
Yeah, how it happened.
No, like the people in the background that you definitely saw someone walking across a roof, but it's like it's that split secondy kind of thing.
And I like the face and the makeup they did in the
Yeah,
face.
how they
Distorted. You said something in our last episode about Midnight Mass being like The Thing.
Yeah.
That's more like The Thing. That film is more like The Thing. It's
I agree.
isolation.
No, yeah.
It's completely you're alone and these fuckers are after you. Not saying Midnight Mass isn't like The Thing, but that film is vampires.
Correct.
Meets The Thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant. Love that.
No, yeah, all of that. Right, my number 5
Yours.
is Evil Ed from Fright Night,
I
the
knew you
original.
were gonna come with this one.
Evil Ed is a little dickhead, and I, whilst just watching some videos with him without watching the whole film because I've watched it recently, there was a YouTube video that says one of the he was in the top 5. Not my top 5. I was in my top 5. He was in the top 5 on YouTube. An episode that's called on this YouTube video called "Top 5 Worst Horror Movie Characters." And
Really?
you're fucking wrong, mate. He's just ridiculous. He's not a good vampire.
I mean, he's hilarious. He's the comedy job, isn't he, for the film? And
He's just a dickhead. Because one of the reasons
laughing it.
yeah, he's got a stupid laugh. Like, he's such a vampire from the get-go. Like,
But
he's just this nerdy kid.
He's an arsehole before he's a vampire, isn't he?
Yeah. He's like a nerdy kid who's just a bit of a fucking little cunt. And then, like,
That's really strong. Just a little bit of a cunt.
He's just a little bit of a cunt. But, like, there's a bit where he goes back and he's like he's taunting this. If you've not seen it, he's taunting this guy who used to be in vampire films, and the vampire film guy grabs one of the props that he used to use, which is a cross, and puts it in the middle of his head, and he burns it. And Evil Ed says this.
The master will kill you for this, but not fast. Slowly. Oh, so slowly.
Where did his lisp come from?
Mate, you've been a vampire 5 fucking minutes. What are you talking like you've been alive for 500 years? I love it. I think it's just funny. I think it's really good.
I think one thing we should say when we talk about like mine and your childhood,
Yeah.
we used one of our things we used to do on most Saturdays when we were, I'd say, between the ages of like 14 to 17. Summer holidays, we used to go to HMV in town with a £5 because every DVD was £1, and
they literally, I don't know how old they think I am, but it's a good 4 or 5 years older than me.
We used to
because I was born in 18s.
We used to buy really shit.
We buy
horror
a shit
films.
one and a good one.
Yeah,
Right?
but what we used to do, like a horror film that would say we used to have people used to come around your house and watch them with us, but they got so fucking annoyed because me and Jen would be constantly pausing the film
And rewind
and
it.
then we're not rewind it. We'd just put it on stills and we'd say things that they think they should say. We just make up the lines.
Evil Ed was one of them.
Yeah.
But but still, like, and I think this is one of the coolest things about that film in general is when Evil Ed is shot and he's fully turned into a wolf.
Evil Ed.
And he jumps at I can't remember the last guy. He's like Peter, they got the vampire slayer guy. He jumps at him, he's shot. They're on a landing, so when he's shot, Evil Ed in wolf form falls back over this thing and gets impaled with on a banister.
Yeah.
And then he goes downstairs and he watches him turn from a wolf back into like Evil Ed, as you know him.
He's
and
got
that's
a stupid
sick.
shit-eating grin now.
But then it's the last that he's just amazing.
Did you like the remake?
No, it's fucking.
I've
wank.
never seen it.
It's
and I
fucking
can't.
shit.
I
Mate,
don't want to see it.
Evil Ed is McLuffin.
I mean, that's the right casting, I suppose. Like,
It is, but like it's like, oh, let's take someone that was really funny and he's
looks
nerdy
like
from
a bit of a
another film.
prick.
Yeah, and then they just make it. Do you know Evil Ed played by McLovin?
Yeah.
Is basically just McLovin's character in Kick-Ass.
I don't like that.
Just
film
a snobby cunt, and he's like he does the same as soon as he's a vampire. He's like, I shall kill thee. He's like, you.
What was that? I shall kill thee.
Yeah, it's just one of those people. Like, there's loads of vampires in films that have been vampires for 10 minutes.
Who is it? It's Colin. It's
Colin Farrell.
Farrell, yeah, he plays. He's the neighbour,
Jerry
isn't he?
Dandridge.
Yeah, but he don't. It's like it's complete.
In the original, it's what's his name? Something Sarandon.
Yeah, but like the guy that played it originally looks like he was debonair when he was that suave. Colin Farrell.
He was 80s.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He come with a white fucking suit and the big collar.
Yeah,
It didn't match. I mean, I saw the picture.
Colin Farrell in that film, and he's an attractive geezer, and he can act. Just honestly, in that film, he just looks like he goes. People have gone. Something for the moms. Something for the moms to look
just
at.
picked up a paycheck, didn't he, for that film?
That's what it was.
I don't know why they ever felt the need to remake it. I mean, the original one isn't a great film, but it is a great film. It's shit.
Yeah.
Don't try and make a shit film good because it will probably be shit.
Yeah.
Leave it.
I think the original's actually sick.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a shit
just
film.
so 80s.
But it's a good film. It's it's like the original It. I love it. I mean, it's shit.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Let's go for number 4. We've got to log back in. So number 4 for movie is
Maximilian
Maximilian
from Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh my days! Oh yes, I'm putting that shit down.
Did you not have him in your
film? He's not in my film. He's not in it.
I've seen
nearly was.
I've seen it twice, right? And it was years ago. But what I'd do is one of them. Eddie Murphy, anyway, was one of them people I quite like to look at old clips and films of him on YouTube, and I constantly go to Vampire in Brooklyn or Coming to America. I don't really think the film was even that good. No. He's really good in it though.
Yeah.
That first, because he comes in a tanker, doesn't he? He comes in a boat.
Like, it was very much one of his, like, I'm gonna write. Yeah, he was like, he
coming in a tanker. That scene when he first comes in, you first see him. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
yeah.
But the whole film is hilarious. It's just like, it's.
I can't believe you've not got him in yours. I thought you would have had him.
Did ya? He nearly was, honestly. He nearly was. But I just went. But there's others above him. But that film is just fucking incredible. It's terrible. It's a terrible film. But you will have so much fucking fun watching it.
It's a terrible film, but some of his best comedies in that film.
The bit where, because like obviously Eddie Murphy cannot play one character in a film.
No,
he has to play about fucking 3,000. So he in the film Maximilian the Vampire takes on the form of a preacher Polly. But he's talking like, because he's like an African, but he's got this really debonair like accent he's putting on, and then he goes,
it's the hair, man.
Preacher Polly, Preacher Polly, and he becomes Preacher Polly, and then he gives this massive speech about how evil's. You have to have evil, because without evil you can't have good. But you're just going, evil is good. Evil's good. Evil's good.
He basically becomes Mighty Fine again. Like, he becomes the Barbers again. He's just one of them three.
It's just that. and it's it's quite a bad film, but it's a brilliant film.
I mean,
love
it is.
But it's one of the films that, as we say, like when we grew up, it was one of those things we definitely had. I remember we had it.
You had it.
Because
I
I
watched it with
taped it
you.
off fucking
I watched
Channel
it.
4 or some
You
shit.
showed it me first. I think as well, and I say it's one of them films where the film itself is shit, but there's some his comedy's really good in that film. When he's left to do his comedy, it's really good. I mean, going off subject here, but then the sequel to Coming to America has got to be one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But when they go back into the barbershop, it's brilliant. I wish they would have just made that for 2
just
hours.
made that film.
For 2 hours. Just
I
him as
think that was a
barber.
stretch because the characters they played in that barbershop then.
Oh, back in
If
the
they
original.
were real people,
I'd go there every day.
they'd be dusty dead fuckers. Let's admit it. So
Amazing.
my number 4.
Number
4 is Ellie from Let Me In and Let the Right One In.
Shit. That's a great film, that is, as
Both
well.
fucking films.
You've really gone
And
to
it's
town
a
on
re-
mine.
and
I haven't
it's-
really thought about mine.
And it's a really good. It's a really good vampire.
It's really good.
character.
Because I like the original subtitles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
It's
is it?
Swedish?
Swedish, yeah. I really
Swedish
like it. That end bit
or
with the pool
Norwegian.
is brilliant. I
Yeah.
like it because it focuses on bullying. Like, and the whole premise of the
Yeah.
film is this kid's bullied and he finds someone to protect him.
The writer of the book, because it was a book.
Yeah.
The writer of the book grew up in a place very similar.
Yeah.
To, or if not exactly the place, he didn't name it. I don't know if he named it word for word. But anyway, and he grew up in the same way. He was bullied, and
Yeah, he was,
one
yeah.
of his things was that he wanted this.
He apparently he wanted a friend, and he
Yeah.
always dreamt about having a friend to come and save him and be strong. And he just
yeah.
changed him. Fuck it, why can't I be a vampire when he wrote the book?
Mhm.
Great idea.
It's fucking amazing.
It's
isn't
a
it?
brilliant film.
And the whole thing with how she has that kind of guy that goes around with her and takes her from place to place.
It's a really good film.
And is it Richard Jenkins in
Yeah.
Let Me In?
In the remake.
The American
Yeah.
version.
Which is also really good as well.
Yeah.
It's astonishing actually because there aren't many films where
The American remake.
is good, but it's
Is as
actually
good.
really good. I'm gonna say it's actually it's as good as the original.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think both stand massively.
I haven't seen it in years.
And the actual vampire.
It was one of them films. I think years
Sick.
and years ago. I turned on the telly. It was on Channel 4 one
Yeah,
night, and I
yeah.
watched it. I was like, "This is fucking
This is
brilliant."
fucking
but
nice.
that last bit is
What
really fucking. It's spine-tinglingly good. Like you're like, this is on edge.
Yeah.
Around the pool. Like,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
this is, like shit's about to kick
And
off
you
now.
like the fucking. I won't
Don't spoil it. Watch
But
it.
like, there is a bit where this isn't spoiling it. It's just a really interesting thing they did. Well, I think anyway. With obviously like there's like vampire folklore about like vampires can't just enter your house. They have to be
I have to be invited in. Yeah.
which I have a strangely interesting fact about.
Well, no, I
in a
missed that
bit,
of mine.
in a
So
bit.
that's a good thing, really.
But they have to be invited in. So, and like it's always kind of shown in films that they just can't. They literally can't cross the threshold. But in this film, like the young lad goes, "I'm not inviting you in because he's seen her do some weird shit. I'm not inviting you in. Just come in. Well, no, I'm not inviting you in." And she goes, "Well, I need you to." He's like, "Show me why," or something like that. And she walks in, and she just starts bleeding all over. Like it seems like it's coming from under her hair and stuff like. And I thought that was really cool.
In that film, she just, I can't remember now. It's been ages since I watched it. She sees him being bullied, doesn't she? That's why she gravitates towards him, isn't it? It's not like she wanted to eat him or kill him. She sees him being bullied and feels some sort of like protective role
I think.
towards him.
The whole thing about obviously she has an older man that is going around with her, and like it's kind of like everyone around is kind of taking it. Just that must be her dad, kind of thing. But the whole thing is the film was he the young boy years ago, and then eventually he grew up when she can't age, and then like he's.
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Gonna be the fucking.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Fucking.
I really didn't do a lot of research into films, to be honest. I mean, I watched two. I did more like the history side of it.
I didn't. I'm just a fucking massive bellend.
Why? It's brilliant.
Let's go. What's your third?
To be honest, you know more about films and stuff like that than me. I mean, I love horror films, but if anyone's the horror nut here, it would be you. It's not going to be. It's not going to be me. 3, you ain't gonna know who it is, and I doubt anyone here. But anyone that knows me knows I'm a massive geek and I love video games. Have done since I was a kid. And one of my favourite video games of all time is Castlevania.
I
Symphony
knew
of
you
the
were
Night.
going to say Castlevania.
Yeah, it's one of my. I love it.
It was. I remember when you had that on N64.
Yeah,
was it when
this
we
year.
were wee boys, and I really wanted to play it because it's vampires and werewolves and all
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
Number
And I just
2 was
sucked at it.
werewolves. Number 1 was vampires.
Oh, there
Well,
you
there's
go.
Dracula's in both of them. Dracula's
Yeah.
in all of them, but
Yeah.
Symphony of the Night was one on PS2.
Which one? Who's your favourite from it?
Alucard,
Alucard.
Which
Which is
if-
Dracula backwards.
which is Dracula backwards.
Yeah,
Who is
yeah.
the son of Dracula,
Yeah, yeah.
and I just like him. I just thought he was a really cool character.
Fair play.
If anyone
Anyone else is a nerd out there?
if anyone
this is
in-
for you,
If anyone enjoys Netflix and has a subscription to Netflix, they did
they did an anime.
yeah. It's I mean it's not for kids,
No.
believe me. But if you have a spare 5 hours and you want to watch something really fucking good, I'd
Yeah.
recommend it.
I might watch
Castlevania on Netflix
I might
is
give it a go.
it's one of the honestly it's one of my favourite shows. It's got some brilliant actors in it.
Yeah.
Really good actors in it. But yeah, Alucard is my number 3. Today.
What's my number 3? My number 3 is Monsignor John Pruitt from the recent series Midnight Mass.
Fucking hell, he's
I've
real.
I've watched that, and that's been out what 2 months. I've watched it 4
Yeah.
times.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I've watched it. Mate, it's fucking and him as a vampire character.
I love the
I
whole
love
sermon
because
thing.
he's so like convinced of himself that he's doing everyone good.
How long in the show did it take to realise that he was himself, but from years ago? Like he, you know, when he comes along, he says, "Oh, well,
a few episodes.
he's really poorly." You know,
I
he's
think
really-
I think it's that like they put a seed in my head where they
when
try
she sees
to
the picture, that's when it got me. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
What?
where the guy
Picture.
goes the recovering alcoholic guy.
Yeah,
He goes up to the picture. He goes, "Oh my god, that's uncanny."
yeah,
And he goes, You could be his son." I was like, "Oh shit!"
yeah. Because it only didn't dawn
'Cause
on
I
me.
thought I originally thought it was like Salem's Lot kind of thing.
He's very
you know,
much
where
like
the
that.
guy, you know, with the tash and the fucking
Yeah,
hat
yeah,
is just
yeah.
going, "You can't see Mister." I can't remember his fucking name, but you can't see him. He's not here.
Oh, the
and,
old Nosferatu. with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
tin
yeah.
for the-
He was knocking him out.
Fuck, man. I should have changed my list. There's so many vampires now I'm thinking of that I wish were on my
He was
list.
nearly there, but then I realised the noise that fucking he makes in saying, and apparently he wasn't anything like that in the book. He was like quite.
I've got
like,
the book and I read half of it once and then I just never read any more of it. I got it. My mum and dad bought it me for Christmas years
Fair
ago.
play.
They bought me that and it. I read it and I read half of Salem's Lot and I just didn't finish it for whatever reason. But I remember it. Yeah, when I read it, it's because you know it's all obviously anything to do with Stephen King. A lot of these main characters, they're always writers.
Yeah.
They're always a lot of them are writers. I think the only one that's not is
A lot of them are writers from Maine,
fucking hell. What's the
and a lot of them have friends. It was just crazy.
what's the fucking
have
film
some
with the,
psychic abilities.
with the Pet Cemetery?
Yeah,
He's a
Pet
doctor.
Sematary.
He's not a writer. I don't think he's a writer in the original one. I think he's a doctor in the original one as well. The dad.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, they're all writers, isn't they? But I remember when I read Salem's Lot, I've seen the film a few times. I think it's quite good, actually. I really like it.
Yeah.
But the book focuses more on the writer as
Yeah.
opposed to the vampires. And
My,
I got a bit bored, I think.
Going off tangent a little bit with Salem's Lot, I like the bit, you know, with the guy catches him cheating. No.
I love that bit, though.
The bit with the kid on the window. No, the whole like bit where like the woman's cheating with the boss and
Yeah.
he's out, but then he goes back and it's fucking, and then he chases
It's
him out.
long, though,
And
isn't
then
it,
all of
the
a sudden
film?
he's like, yeah, and he goes, fucking
It's
shit.
a really long film.
Well, it's a miniseries, isn't it?
Oh, was that also a miniseries
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
it was,
Because I know the original it was. Anyway, I
was.
went off your tangent of your who was your number 3 again?
Number 3, Monsignor John Pruitt.
Brilliant program.
Great program, really good actor, and
It is a really good program. I can't stress that.
top-notch vampire.
I
for
can't
me.
stress that enough. That bit when he's standing there and
think-
you see the wing come up behind
I
him.
think him as the Monsignor John Pruitt is a better than the quote unquote angel from that with the big wings, the actual like
Oh, you mean the one he
the
brings
vampire.
back?
The vampire.
The one he brings back from the
Yeah.
Holy Land.
Yeah.
You never, because he survives, doesn't
Obviously, that's just a bit of a monster. That's just like a monster that's going around
he? He
being a
survives,
monster.
though, doesn't he?
Monster. Huh?
He survives, doesn't he? Flies off at the end. He uses his
No, he
wings.
doesn't.
I thought he did.
Well, they kind of say that he probably wouldn't get as far as
Yeah.
because his wings get knackered.
I hope they don't do another
That's how
series.
they put it. He's knackered his wings.
I don't want to see another season of it because they don't do that with them top programs on Netflix. They have
I
one
don't-
season
I
and
don't
that's
think
it.
they will. I don't
Isolated.
think they
I hope they don't.
In at number 2, Morvo.
2. Lestat D. Lion Court from
You fucking woman.
You've got him as well, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, fucking, he's
I don't like that film.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant, mate. I tell you what, Tom Cruise. Say what you want.
I think it's Tom Cruise as well.
See,
I don't like Tom Cruise.
That's mate. I'm completely with you. There's not many. I don't know a film that I've watched with Tom Cruise, which I'll go, that's a fucking good film. I can't think of any, but he's fucking brilliant in that film.
Yeah.
He's really good in it, and he. Louis, why'd you do it, Louis?
I think
it's brilliant.
If there's any film that kind of like allows him to ham it up, it's that one.
I just like the idea. I just like the vampires in that film. I like the lore behind them in that film.
Yeah.
The whole like
Antonio Banderas as well.
yeah, the whole court of vampires. The whole idea that like when he turns, it's Brad Pitt's character is called Louis, isn't he?
Yeah.
When he turns Louis into a vampire and he's teaching him, because the whole idea of being a vampire to them is the passing of knowledge.
Yeah.
So like Lestat is passing his
He's
ideas.
being a sweet, sexy
He's
leather daddy.
passing his ideas that he believes what it is to be a vampire to him, and the whole idea that actually there isn't that many of us, and you know they go traveling around the world to find others. But that bit where they kill him, and then he comes back from the swamps because he's fed on a crocodile.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that bit.
That's
and
cool
he's playing.
bit.
He's
That's
there
a cool
playing
bit.
the piano. I just love that. I really do. I watched it the other day and I really enjoyed it.
It's a fine film.
Christian Slater's good in it as
I
well.
say I don't like it, but I just don't mind it. Like if it's on, I'll sit and watch it.
I think it's just because
But
I
don't think I'd ever put it on.
I like that type of vampire.
Yeah.
That type of vampire is very
You like
different.
a cravat.
I think it's just really.
love a cravat.
I think that type of vampire is very different from, say, like the Marlowe of 30 Days of Night, which are basically just hunger, starving. I'm gonna kill. And fuck
don't like a shark.
anything. Like they're just vicious.
Like
Yeah,
a shark
Yeah.
in a leather daddy
Yeah.
suit.
I mean, if I was gonna meet any vampire, I'd rather meet Lestat, and I hope he turns me rather than be chomped on by Marlowe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Fair play.
I really don't.
Right, my number 2 is David from Lost Boys.
Oh yeah. Fucking
Kiefer Sutherland.
all these films I didn't think of.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed about that.
I just like that he's just like, it's the most teenage you can get a vampire.
The most punk
in the
vampire
80s.
you're ever gonna find.
He's hanging around with his mates that are just constantly running around in circles whooping while he's just sat there going, "It's worms, Michael." You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Corey Feldman's in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's one of the Frog Brothers.
The Frog
Yeah.
Brothers, yeah.
There's fuck all wrong with that film.
That's a great film.
It's such a good film.
It's interesting, you know.
Even down to the geezer with the sax. The geezer with the sax is a badass.
The 80s.
Even though he's greased up to fuck, he's got a massive chain and a sax. But I tell you this now, there's video fucking evidence of him. He fucking still believes to this day. I fucking swear to God.
But you look at say 85 to 95. There's a lot of good vampire films that came from the 80s to the early 90s. There's a lot of good vampire films.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore.
No, they won't.
I say that my opinion. The last one is 30 Days of Night.
Yeah.
I can't think of a vampire film from then. Okay, you've got Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
But it's not a film. What else has there been that's a vampire film?
There's got to be something.
I mean, there are.
Let Me In is technically.
Okay,
Even the
yeah,
original,
shit, but I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I go with that, yeah, but I mean, it's quite underground,
Few
isn't
and
it?
far between.
It's underground, isn't it? It's not
a
known.
good one anyway.
I can't think of a vampire film that's like, okay, you got your fucking, well, we'll save that for later, but yeah, you know, you got them shit fucking.
Well, like before we go to one, I'm gonna have a quick piss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sound.
Right. Okay. Just gonna nip to the little priest's room. Be back in a second. Welcome back to
part two.
To just the rest of it.
Yeah. So what did you do? Number 2.
Number 2 was last year. We're on to number 1s. Morv, what's your number 1?
Number 1. Hang on. Do you?
Right. Number 1. Morv.
Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah, I love it. I love him.
He's a solid Dracula.
I think he's brilliant. I think it's more because of the guy playing him.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is. I just like it. I like all the little quips and things he does.
He's very.
He's flamboyant as fuck in it, and he knows he's just basically given this role just to basically just do what the fuck he wants, take the piss with it, and I just really like it. I really like that film. We said earlier. I mean, there's only 2 good actors in that film, him and what's wrong with names tonight? Can't remember names.
What is wrong with names?
Anthony
Hopkins.
Aside from him, no, actually no. Take that back. You've got what's his face who looks after the lunatic asylum. He's really good.
Richard E. Grant.
Yep. And then you've got what's his face in the cell?
Tom Waits.
Brilliant. Winona Ryder is fucking awful.
Not very
in it.
good. And neither is Keanu.
Keanu Reeves is not very good, and the other two.
Keanu needs to pack it in at this point. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I'm a big fan for Keanu.
I reckon halfway through the filming of that, he could have gone, I reckon I shouldn't be doing this.
He's just, who told him to
This is awful.
Who told him to say, put the English accent on? Like, what the worst thing is, you've got literally a cowboy in the film.
Yeah.
Give him that role. Why did you give him and give the Englishman role?
I think maybe, I don't know, was Keanu Reeves like a big pull at that time?
It was before The Matrix, but it was after Speed.
Maybe that.
So you got Speed, Point Break. I like a lot of Keanu Reeves.
That's
I think,
true. Maybe.
I'm sorry. Anyone that says that you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis are the kings of action heroes, no, fuck off.
Yeah, you can't have Keanu in there.
Keanu Reeves is the king.
I don't know about King. I mean, it's your opinion. Fair play. But
John Wick, mate.
I'm not big on action films anyway.
I love it. I like an action film, so I can sit there and just go. I don't have to think for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, him Dracula in that film. I just like that film. I think it's really good, and I think he's brilliant.
Let's go into mine. Right. My number one is Count Olaf from Nosferatu.
Yeah.
He's a fucking badass. You seen him, mate? He's just like
Boris Karloff, isn't it? Is it?
No, it's not. His name is Max Schreck, the actor who played him.
Who did Boris Karloff? What one was he in?
He didn't. I don't think he played Dracula.
No, he directed, didn't he? He directed.
No. I don't think he. No, he was an actor. Boris Karloff was.
He was a monster actor, wasn't he?
He was Frankenstein.
Oh shit! Yeah.
He
Okay,
was the
ignore me.
Mummy.
Yeah. I'm thinking that he didn't do Dracula. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's just a fucking. It's just a really good fucking film.
It is a good film.
And
yeah.
he's a great vampire.
Yeah.
And he's like.
But he's old school, isn't he?
I like that people kind of went ooh at him in the film, but like if you saw him, you'd be like, "Fucking hell, you're all mate." Jesus,
thing
what
is,
the fuck?
you saw him, you wouldn't assume vampire. You'd think you've got some serious illness, mate. You need to take some vitamins.
I like it when he puts his little hat on as well. He just got that little hat. It's fucking brilliant. He's brilliant.
I think I've only seen it once, but yeah,
Fair play.
it's a good film. It's a good film.
Right. I've got some. I'll turn that down a little bit. I've got some honourable mentions. Right, let's go. The Count from Sesame Street. Count Duckula, the English version of the vampire duck. There's another one called Count Quackula, but he's not in here. Chet Pussy from who's Come On In Pussy Lovers. Brilliant vampire. Laddie from Lost Boys.
Yeah, I've just seen one of the names on there as well. It's even better.
Grandpa Munster. And we've got Blackula, Max Schreck, who there was a film about the making of Nosferatu, in which the film was kind of like said as if the guy playing Count Olaf was actually Count Olaf and he was a vampire. And it's a great film, Shadow of the Vampire. And Leslie Nielsen as Dracula in Dracula Dead and Loving It. Fucking amazing.
I'm surprised you never mentioned anything from In the Shadows.
You motherfucker. I mean, yeah, but
because I was going to put him in, and then I was like, no, because I know Jen will have that in.
Which one?
Or any of them.
Any of them.
I was going to go.
Who's your favourite?
I can't remember names or not. What the fuck is going on?
Is it Jermaine Clement?
Yeah, the mate. Well,
yeah, the one guy with the long hair.
Yeah. Why the fuck? I'm terrible now.
That's one of the best. That's the one. That's if not one of the funniest films ever. It's
brilliant, mate.
It's so good.
I think you told me to watch that. We lived with you on the flat, and I watched it.
It's amazing.
Next episode, I promise. If we go and talk about pop culture, because let's face it,
we will know names.
Although we do speak about the history of whatever the topics are, we need to put more effort into the fucking actors that played. Because I said Dracula, I was like, because I really like the actor that played him. I was like, Jank, please say what his name was, because I can't fucking remember. All I can remember is he plays Commissioner Gordon in Batman. That's it I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a lot of films.
But Count Olaf in Nosferatu, I just want to say this as well, he's technically Dracula. Did you know that?
They based it. Well, not based, but it was.
The people who made the film couldn't get the rights to the Dracula from Bram Stoker's widow. Yeah. So they just went, call him Count Olaf.
I think it's such a fucking... I can't believe I didn't know that Bram Stoker was the one that came up. I know, okay, Dracula existed, as in the name Dracul exists, but I can't... it was a
mind blower.
I was like, what? I thought it was throughout, like, this was a thing like Transylvania, Castle Transylvania. I thought So he wrote that.
Yeah, he wrote it.
I've got something I'm going to tell you in a bit that's going to blow your mind as well.
All right.
But you don't have to believe me. No one has to believe me, but...
You're going to tell me now? Yeah.
I can tell you now if
Tell
you
me
want.
now.
Right, so on my mother's side,
Yeah.
so my mum's mum,
Yeah.
some distant relative of her
Yeah.
is linked to Mary Shelley. I am a relative of Mary
The
Shelley.
writer of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty sick.
I knew that ages ago. I don't know if it's true. There was never any proof, but my nan used to say, she goes, we are related to, it's either Mary or Peter.
Yeah.
But I've got a connection to either Mary or Peter Shelley.
Peter Shelley,
And he's her husband.
who is the guitarist of Buzzcocks.
I think his name's Peter Shelley. Whoever her husband is, I'm either related. Again, I'm probably not fucking related. This is what my nan used to tell me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty
That
cool and I
would
thought I'd
be
drop
pretty
it.
fun,
But
cool.
yeah, I'm related. Apparently, as far as she was aware, I have some connection to either her or him. If his name's Peter. I'm sure his
play.
name's Peter.
Fair play.
Alfie, fact check me.
Fact
I know
check
it's
that.
Mary Shelley, though. I know she's called Mary Shelley.
I want to mention two other amazing Draculas, Bela Lugosi
Oh, shit.
and Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee, most definitely.
Bela Lugosi of like the more Universal monsters, black and white,
Oh, yeah,
fucking absolutely banger. Probably, he might have been the first like inner tux
Well, he was the
vampire.
his whole look inspired all of the American horror sitcom shows.
Well, yeah, basically.
Like the Addams Family and the other ones.
Monsters.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
His
yeah, yeah.
look, not him, but not the character. Like his look inspired all those.
Very sad story
Yeah.
as well about him because he was fucking brilliant. But and Christopher Lee, obviously, who
Yeah.
was an absolute fucking bad man, absolute badass,
Apparently had a huge library dedicated to the occult.
and used to release
Death
metal
metal.
records.
Yeah. Also played.
Just him going, I am Christopher Lee. I was Dracula.
Not only did he do that,
I don't think those
he
are the
killed
lyrics, I think.
Nazis.
He did as well.
He killed Nazi. He was one of the. He worked for the special forces, isn't he? He was ones that were
He
sent
was,
in
yeah.
behind enemy lines. He was
was.
basically just a. Like Inglourious Bastards, he was that.
Yeah.
He was sent in to fucking kill him.
He's
So
bad
he's
man.
he's a badass
Christopher
essentially.
Lee, badass. But let's talk about.
R.I.P.
I'm feeling a bit of a presence in the
Yeah.
room, Wolf.
Yeah.
There seems to be something between us.
Love.
It feels like love. It sparkles like love.
I bet it's a bit shit.
Let's hang on. What's that in the camera? Oh my god!
Oh.
It's fucking the. It's the skin of killer. We are here with Arpats, aka Edward from
Twilight.
I don't think it started it, but some of the shittest vampire
A book
films.
that was renowned when it was released, a bit like 50 Shades, it was renowned that when it was first published had so many mistakes in it, grammar, spelling, that
Yeah.
people found in this book. Basically, I would imagine it's because whoever checked the book after she wrote it was like, this is shit, fuck it, sell it, I ain't reading this.
Yeah.
And it just went out there into the world. And how...
It landed in the wrong pile.
Mate, I'm sorry, they're not vampires.
Publish, not
Vampires
publish.
should burn in the sun, not sparkle like a Christmas
Sparkle.
decoration. Like, it's just really odd.
They suck.
We would damage this in protest, but it cost me a fortune.
Yeah, it cost him so much. So now me and Wolf now have a
permanent prop.
big cardboard cutout for it. We don't dislike Robert Pattinson.
He's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Lighthouse.
But Twilight can suck my cock.
It's fucking shit.
I don't know when the whole thing, when like popular films that were like, they're not horror films, like films like Twilight.
Is it described as a
and
horror?
Underground. You know what I mean? It's
teen. It's. I mean, I know Sonny likes a rom com. It's like a teen horror rom com, isn't it? I bet he got his rocks off to that film.
No, I doubt he did. He'll hate you for saying
I
that.
don't care.
But like,
I bet he loves
he
Twilight.
said, I was gonna say, it's like if
I've heard him telling people he's the Edward Cullen of Tamworth anyway.
he went,
sparkle in the light.
mate, Team Edward, Team Jacob, the Team Sonny. Who you on? But when did people decide that everyone has to be sexy and I mean, vampires and werewolves have been in this huge fight.
And also, apparently they live in this area of. It's like Seattle, isn't it? It's like really damp and dismal.
It's just not that
trees.
sunny.
And they live there because guess what? It's cloudy all the time, so no one can see who they really
And so
are.
when there's a
I'm
storm,
like,
they
you
can play baseball.
They're fucking stupid, man. Like, who would
Really
put?
shit.
I mean, if I'm a vampire, I'm not going to give a shit where I live because I'm getting up at night for one reason and one reason only, to eat. Like, I'm not going to school.
I like they're all in withdrawal as well.
And did anyone click? I mean, how long do you not have to go to school to then go back to school? Like Edward, his character is how old? He's hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
But he goes to school, so he must go through all of his formative years at school.
Yeah.
Stop and then go. Well, I can't go back for another 20, 30 years because the teachers need to die.
Yeah.
And then I'll start again. Why? Why do you need to keep going back to school? Just not go to school.
Yeah.
Just stop.
No,
It makes no fucking sense.
It's shit. It's a shit film.
It's a terrible film. The
It's a shit
werewolves are more annoying in that film.
It is.
than
Let's
fucking-
put him down.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Although I must say, I'm looking forward to the Batman.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Batman. Should pop him beyond the Go on. Go into the bar. Go into the bar, Patterson. Boy Patterson.
Oh shit! I'm about to pull.
It's alright. It's alright. Just fucking just lie him down. Sleep, sweet prince. So yeah.
Well, that was a nice prop for 10.
That was a nice prop for 10 minutes. I didn't want him to be there when I went into some of this shit I'm about to talk about.
I just want to say that I have brought stars to this YouTube channel.
You have.
I have brought
You have.
stars to you
Our
people.
Pats and Clinton
Baptiste, who, by the way, I messaged on Instagram,
Yeah.
and he came back to me and was like, "Nice one, mate."
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all he
Fair
said
play.
to me.
Oh, fair play.
I sent you a screenshot.
I know, yeah.
He literally just put, "Nice one, mate."
Nice one,
I just said, "Cheers for the video. Here's a link to the podcast."
If you've got a minute.
I assume you're going to be you're quite busy touring, but if you ever have the time and you want to take a break, watch us.
Have
And
a
he's
look.
put, "Nice one, mate."
Nice one, mate. He
Genius.
might do. He might not. He
Who
probably
knows?
won't.
Who knows, mate?
But yeah, I wanted to go into some shit that's quite fucking wow. It's a bit shit. A bit shit.
A bit shit.
A bit shit.
What do you mean a bit shit? Well, let's not do it then.
No, not as in
Not negatively.
of poor quality.
Okay, I was going to say. Because I don't need these anymore. So what I'm going to do now,
You're gonna close that?
well, because I've wrote something, but it's for the end.
Okay.
So I don't need this now. This is quite nice. Now I can enjoy myself. I can relax.
Sit back and
This is-
listen to this.
This is like Christmas, isn't it? I've wrapped all my presents.
You
done now.
You just got to chill out now.
I'm not going to talk now for the next hour and a half.
Right. Fucking hell. Morv, obviously, as you've been watching, has done lots of research into the origins, the history, the this and this. I've been reading into some nutty cunts.
Naughty
Cunts. Right, I just want to preface this with Renfield syndrome. We spoke about Dracula. There's a character played by Tom Waits called Renfield.
Yeah.
There is a recognised and diagnosable condition called Renfield syndrome, which is usually caused by an event during puberty, where there might be an accident or something with a lot of blood, which crosses some wires, and the person who this afflicts thinks blood. It's pretty fucking sexy.
So he's kinky.
So he's loving it. I mean, I don't want to kink shame, but don't do this.
I've never heard that before. Kink shame. Is that a
Shame.
thing?
You never heard kink
No,
shame?
I live in a I live in my own world, mate. I
That's
don't go out of
fair.
the house.
Kink shameless world.
I'm like a vampire. I've come out for a podcast. I'm
Fair
going home
play.
after.
So, like, usually it's the ingesting of blood that they like to do, and it usually starts with them cutting themselves and drinking their own blood. But then it can, it can escalate into different things. Maybe eat
Cannibalism.
animals.
Oh, okay.
Animals, for one, and and then it can get even fucking worse than that.
I'm assuming when you say eat animals, this is more extreme than someone just liking a steak on a Saturday night.
Yes, it's
It's far
Yes.
worse than that.
well, I've this is quite a well-known case of a man called Richard Templeton Case, who was known as the Vampire of Sacramento. He
I saw this.
thought that his blood was shrinking.
His blood was shrinking.
He thought his blood was shrinking, and that he had to ingest blood to to replenish it because it's shrinking. It's not disappear. Look, well, he do it disappear. He was shrinking to the point of disappearing. That's what he thought. So some things he used to do was he used to kill and eat animals. But when they found his house, which was if they found like papers, like newspapers,
Yeah.
and circled were advertising ads like in newspapers saying like, oh, we just had a litter of puppies. Do you want to come down and get a puppy?
Oh no, man.
Yeah. There's puppies
I don't like that.
in the fucking blender, Monvo.
Why are you saying that to me?
Because that's
of
what
all
happened.
people, a man that loves his dog more than himself.
But it escalated rather fucking
What,
big.
more than puppies in the blender?
More than puppies, more than cats, more than fucking birds he could catch. Right. And he was a skinny, gaunt, fucking freakish looking motherfucker, man. He wasn't well. He was an unwell man.
Oh, clearly.
Something could have fucking helped. But
Steak?
in 1977, he in the space of a month, he killed 6 people.
Right.
First person was someone called 51-year-old Ambrose. I think it's fucking last name. But he shot him in a car, but nothing happened because he fled the scene. He just shot him. He had plans to do other stuff, but he didn't do it.
Pussied out.
He pussied out. 2 weeks later, he attempted a home invasion, but the door was locked. Right. He wasn't like, I'm a vampire. He was never like, he read about vampires, seen vampire films, I'm a vampire.
No.
But one thing, in his twisted head, he was going, if I'm trying a home invasion, if the door's locked, I'm unwelcome, and he just left.
Similar to a vampire would be
if he tried the door and it wasn't locked, he felt welcome, so he'd go in.
It's a bit of a twisted way of looking at a vampire's come in.
How fucking weird's that? I mean,
really
obviously he wasn't a vampire.
No.
But like,
insane.
that's fucking insane. That's just a weird thing. But there was a bit. He did try another home invasion, which he did get in, and was scared off by the people coming home. But when they got home,
Sounds a bit of a wimp.
he's a bit of a pussy hole.
I mean, he does a lot of fucked up things, but he sounds a bit of a wimp.
Yeah. He was like he was like skinny, weedy, because he wouldn't eat, because he thought that he just, all he ate was animal blood and like raw. So like all he would do was eat that, shit his fucking brains out.
Jesus Christ.
But he another house invasion he tried and he got in, but he was chased away. But when they had chased him away, they found that he had shit and pissed in the cot and the kids' clothes. Fucking a bit of a weird cunt. So anyway, and then he killed someone. He went to a house. It was unlocked. Teresa Warlin was 3 months pregnant. He shot her, stabbed, and started having sex with her while she was dead. While he was stabbing her, drink 2 cups of blood. Was it 2 cups of her blood? He drank some of her blood, and he cut off a nipple and drank the blood from that.
You can't really make a joke about any of that, can you? Really?
No, you can't make a joke about that.
Like, there's no. Like,
I'm just telling you.
There's no twist on
well,
it.
I'm just going into some real vampires. He shot Evelyn Meredith. He had sex with her corpse. He cannibalised her. Her friend Danny Meredith. He shot her, and then Jason Meredith, her son, who was 6 years old, shot her. The 22-month-old nephew, David Fiera, the body was taken. He was scared by the knocking of a door. He took the body, left in their car, and they found, when the police finally found him, they did find the body of the little boy discarded somewhere. But they went to his house. All of his walls, floors, ceiling, and all of his eating utensils were covered in blood.
Nice. So, assuming that boy's then.
Well, that boy's and various other animals. He used to take a bucket.
It's one thing we should say. Like, we obviously go through like the history of this, then we do have a laugh and a joke, but there is a lot of fucked up shit that's associated with a lot of these topics that really similar to like last week's one, the last episode's one where we talked about. But them ones are a bit easier to handle. They're just fucked up. You know,
This is fucked up.
Like this is just not nice.
He took an overdose and died in prison.
Good. Hope it fucking
Yeah,
hurt.
good. good. But like, yeah.
Okay, you can argue mental illness, but no, I'm not going to. He's a prick.
No.
I hope it fucking hurt.
So, right, okay. So there's another man, right, who was called Marcus Wesson. He was a bit of a fanboy. Never thought he was a vampire, but he had a Christian cult with his family. He would
That's how it starts.
He would marry his daughters and get them pregnant and stuff like this.
A bit like Fritzl.
Yeah, very much so.
Without the drinking of blood.
But he was so obsessed with two things being Christianity and vampires that he rewrote the Bible. So Jesus was a vampire.
I want to read it. I mean, I don't. But
I mean,
I bet it's a bit heavy.
what did you do? And Jesus, like, did he just at the end of it? Did he write? And Jesus did all of this at night because he was a vampire, and just leave it at that? Because I had to fucking out all of it. But anyway, in looking at him, right, I was watching another podcast, and I could have like reached through the screen and slapped this geezer. Because what he did, he used to have an old school bus that he used to travel his family around in, and they would move a lot so they weren't traced and like people wouldn't get suspicious of them because they were never in one place more than a time. For a time, they lived on a boat. Like, they lived on a boat.
Pretty common thing for a killer. Move.
Yeah, it's you go undetected. You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't kill anyone.
It's a good tactic.
He didn't kill anyone.
Oh, he didn't?
He didn't kill anyone. He didn't drink any blood. He was just a massive cunt to his kids. Basically, he used to rape them and beat them. So, when on this podcast they were talking about it, he went, and then they moved on a boat, and the geezer went, oh, that's terrible, because the kids, they must have been pretty bored. I'm thinking,
bored?
They must have been praying for boredom.
They were fucking shit scared of you, you dickhead. They weren't going, here's dad with the belt.
Some fucking boredom.
Here's dad with the belt.
Hey,
fucking hell, where's Kaplunk?
I was like, Jesus Christ, bored.
Right, kids,
fucking hell.
I'm going to fuck you, but here's Monopoly.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the dog?
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, he was a mad cunt anyway. But they're quite, I think they're quite, they're quite famous.
I mean,
infamous cases.
I'm assuming you're going to get into that one that was on that Vice programme.
Pazuzu Alderad.
Because he had a bit of vampire in him, didn't he?
A bit, yeah. But I think he was just nutty cunt because he used to shit in the corner and stuff.
Just a nutty cunt.
He was just a fucking. It's like when Hot Topic kids do crack.
He just looks like they're one of them Island Boys, which I want to beat the shit out of. Island Boys.
Pazuzu Alderad. Island Boy, shitting in the corner. So this one is a Scottish case, which I don't think is very, well well, it's not like no one knows much about this. It happened in 2002, 2003.
So recent.
Fairly fucking recent. It was a man called Alan Menzies, right, who he murdered one of his best friends, Thomas McKendrick, in West Lothian in Scotland. And then he was last seen
there can only be one.
On December 11th of 2002. Right. Basically, like, they kind of the police were looking everywhere for him. They were like, questioning everyone, questioned Alan Menzies, and literally could find no clear motive for either him disappearing or someone doing something to him. You know what I mean? He was happy where he was. Yeah. He weren't going to get up and fuck off. You know what I mean? So I think it was a 4-week investigation, and they found a bag that were identified as Thomas McKendrick's clothes.
Right.
And shortly after, they found his remains.
Nice.
So they were questioning people about his remains, and I'll get to what the post-mortem was in a minute. Well, they were questioning people about his remains, but someone they wanted to look back at because of how weird he was acting was Alan Menzies. Alan Menzies, about a couple of days, maybe even the fucking hours after his first questioning, he tried to take a fatal overdose. Didn't work. He spent 48 hours in
bit ironic. Police must have gone, what do you want to get away from?
He, obviously being friends with Thomas McKendrick, he bumped into his mum in a shopping centre or whatever. And one of the things he said to her is he asked her if she knew how to get blood stains out of anything.
Oh.
Right. So they went and questioned him again. I don't know if they really fucking went in on him or whatever, but he confessed. He confessed to everything.
To killing him.
Basically, it goes. He was Alan Menzies was fairly obsessed with vampires anyway. Like, you know, those are his favourite films, you know, and all this.
Fairly obsessed is a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
Wait. So Thomas McKendrick turns up with a video that's just come out of a film that's called Queen of the Damned.
I remember that film.
Do you remember that film?
Yeah.
It is a fucking shit show.
It's a sequel or something, isn't it?
It's technically a sequel to Interview with a Vampire.
Is it?
It's an Anne Rice book.
I never knew that.
I don't know if it's called Queen of the Damned, the book version, but it is. Lestat is in it.
Is he?
Lestat is the main
Tom
one
Cruise?
of the main character. No, it's played by
I never knew that.
a man from the 90s.
I'm not going to watch it.
No, it's not good.
Don't want to tar
Basically, right, Lestat comes back, right, and he wants to out vampires and everything like this in Queen of the Damned. He wants to out vampires and be like, we are here, we are vampires.
Yeah.
The way he chooses to do that
Isn't it a
He's
band or something?
to become the lead singer
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
of a fucking new metal band.
That'll do it.
And his singing voice, he's provided to the film by Jonathan Davies of Korn.
Jesus Christ.
Someone got obsessed about this film to the point where someone died. What a shit film.
What a shit.
What a fucking shit show. Mate, if like, honest to
Not that
God.
I'm laughing at it because it's fucking terrible.
No,
but
we're laughing at Alan Menzies, who's a fucking cunt. We're not laughing at Thomas McKendrick,
No.
who very sadly died. We're laughing at this fucking numpty.
Is he still
who
alive?
doesn't know. No, he's well, I just said no, he's not. But like,
Sorry, I
we're
spoiled that
laughing
one.
at a fucking psychotic cunt who couldn't point out a decent vampire film if, sorry the pun, it bit him in the fucking neck.
He needs to watch this podcast.
Well, if you're watching from where you are, Alan, get a grip. You're a cunt.
Fucking hell, was that the spirit of Alan Menzies?
It's getting a bit fucking stormy out here. The doors are banging. So anyway, right. Where was I? Yeah, so like he got obsessed with this film, and I say like it was Thomas McKendrick who gave him the video. Right. Started watching this video. About sometimes 3-4 times a day, back to back.
Why?
Shit film. But like he was obsessed with the film, but obsessed with one thing
That's
in
another
particular. That is, well, it was a minute ago, I think. But he was obsessed with one thing more than ever about his film: the character of the namesake of the film, the Queen of the Damned, Akasha, who was played by Alia.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the R&B singer? She was strangely made to marry R. Kelly. She sadly died in a plane crash. It's shit, but like that's who she was anyway. She was an actress. This was the only film she was ever in. He became obsessed with the character of the Queen of the Damned, Akasha, to the point where he started seeing her turn up sitting on the end of his bed at night and talking to him, and he would talk back. So
Fruit Loop.
Complete fucking nightmare. Tom, he's a nightmare. He's a fucking nightmare, he is. You see, he's talking to Akasha again. So she started saying, right, Alan. Akasha and Alan, I can't see it, mate.
No, I can't see it.
But like, right, so she's going, Alan, right, you need to kill someone because I'm a vampire. I'm in love with you. Right. You need to kill someone so we can be together. So he goes, all right. But he doesn't think I'm going to kill Thomas McKendrick.
No.
He just goes, okay, yeah, look,
I'll kill
I'm
someone.
taking it on board. You know what I mean? It's there. It's
Yeah.
going to happen at some point. Later on, he's seeing his mate, Thomas McKendrick, stood in the kitchen, having a chat. And he goes, you enjoying that video I lent ya? He goes, yeah, I love it. I love it. Fucking amazing. he said at this point, Akasha was in the room with him. He could see her there with him. And he's like Thomas McKendrick basically kind of goes, fucking hell. The Queen of the Damned, you fucking would, wouldn't you? And he's like, what? Apparently he saw Akasha turn. He said that he disrespected her. And in that instant,
retaliated.
He stabbed him 42 times, starting with his neck and face. He bludgeoned him in the head 6 times and drank 2 cups of his blood. Then he took his friend out and buried him in a shallow grave.
Nice. That'll do.
Because of Queen of the Damned, a film starring the voice of the lead singer of Korn.
Jesus.
There is no hope for this fucking world. He hung himself in prison like a fucking pussy.
Oh, good.
And well, I would love to have kicked his head in. Anyway, yeah, so there's a bit of seriousness.
I wonder why he hung himself. Maybe he was told to.
I think it was more because he was having such a bad time in prison.
Oh, what a shame.
Because people were picking on him.
Oh, no.
Shame, innit, for you, mate? Maybe you shouldn't kill your best mate, you little fucking cunt. Well, you know what I mean? I'm not going to kill him because of a film. You know what I mean?
I don't know what film.
Especially a shitter film like that. If I've watched fucking Holmes and Watson and then come stick a fucking...
If you kill me, I hope it's through better fucking material than that.
Yeah.
If you sort of ask, go, Morph, I've got to kill you. Why? Well, I just watched Twilight. I'm like, fucking hell, there's no hope for our friendship anyway. You might as well kill me.
I think you'd gain supernatural powers and kill me back. But if I was like in the middle of killing you and you go, what are you doing? I'm like... I've just watched Black Dynamite. You'd be like, yeah, fair play. It's a
fucking brilliant film.
But
Joe Lane, thank you for introducing me to that film all them years ago.
Film. But yeah, so there's some people that
strange, man. It's strange, isn't it? These people like
obsessed,
and it's all. I don't want to go onto the mental health thing, but like it's all people just with incredible instabilities in their life, just mentally. They're just absolutely they're on the edge. If there's a fucking cliff, they're on it with the fingertips.
I think the thing is about...
I mean, did he have any evidence of mental health or issues prior to that? Or was
I think he was just obsessive. I think the thing is with Richard Chase and Marcus Wesson, I think you could definitely... Obviously, Marcus Wesson, he didn't kill anyone, but he was, he was
a bit of a bastard.
Incestuous fucking...
prick.
Cunt, like abusive prick. So but that could have been seen. Richard Case, there's a lot of stuff that he did in his early years. You'd be like, he's going to do some really fucked up. But then again, it's like 70s, so it's like, it's just he's a fucking weird kid.
He's the guy down the end of the road that has friends with pigeons.
When, someone 2002, I think they were 21. I think they were about 21.
Scary, man.
So I think this was something that was like, he's really into that. He really loves that kind of stuff.
But I mean,
and then something just fucking...
I said that. I suffer with OCD. I mean... And not, I say what quite badly. I mean, I've been bad with it, But Jesus Christ, not obsessive about I want to kill. But like I've had it's just I won't go into it. But OCD is OCD. Go look it up if you want to look it up. But that is far beyond that. That's just fucking
that's it. You're off.
The cheese has slidden off the cracker.
Yeah,
completely.
Yep.
The bulb has smashed.
The fucking idiot has been watching the shit film too much.
You know what I mean? And just think about it. That's just that film. What about if you watched another film that was far more violent?
Man,
you know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? How things like just media can affect someone. Because there's loads of stories of people like that have watched something and have just taken it on and just gone, yeah, that's right, that is. I'm going to fucking...
I mean, it's fucking mad.
Which I'm sure we'll pick up on other episodes.
Oh,
I'm sure we'll.
Definitely. Almost definitely.
Loads of them.
Yeah. So shall we lighten it up a bit?
Line up
for the next 45 minutes.
Line up.
Let's talk about some good shit.
Good shit.
Let's talk about in the preparation for looking at horror films, reading about not necessarily these twisted fuckers, but like about I was watching I watched Midnight Mass again. I watched some vampire films. I watched this. I watched that. I can't stop listening to Typo Negative.
You used to love them as well. I remember.
I still love Typo Negative.
I mean, no, but I remember you really used to like them. I know that one song. Wasn't he dressed like a woman in it?
It's an actor.
Well, okay, it's not him. But
he's a comedy actor. He's in Balls of Fury.
He starts cross-dressing in it.
Yeah,
can we say that? I don't know.
He dresses as Eminem. He cross-dresses as a Marilyn Monroe style character, and the song's "I Don't Want to Be Me."
That's it.
So he's taking on the personas of different people. He dresses as Michael Jackson at one point, but the song is "I Don't Want to Be, I Don't Want to Be Me." And he was, and Pete Steele would often don a fang, slip a fang on. And he's sadly dead now. Pete Steele was an absolute bad man. Yeah. But if you're thinking about listening to some doomy sexy vampire songs, you've heard Top Her Negative.
Yeah, I've listened to them.
And it's like very like Christian girls and stuff like that.
Deep
and fucking. No, it just wants to fuck everything. It was great.
No, I mean like deep voice.
Oh, deep voice, yeah. Deep voice.
I don't mean deep and insightful music.
He did.
Whispering the words of knowledge to all of his fans.
They did a Doom version of Summer Breeze. Summer Breeze, let me feel fine. They did a fucking Doom version of it. It's fucking brilliant. But, yeah, so, look, vampires and sexy music.
Well, it works. It goes hand in hand. I mean, when going back to, like, the history side of thing, I mean, I didn't really look much into like where he was talking about like bloaters and all of that. But I wanted to look about the fucking cool vampires that dressed like fucking suave motherfuckers who just went out fucking everything and eating everything.
I do like
brilliant, man.
One of the films we both seen recently. I remember we both spoke about it before. I think before we even started doing this podcast, which has only been a fucking month. But before we even had the idea, was that Russian film where it's on the plane.
That's fucking brilliant film.
Blood Red Sky.
We're fucking terrible at this, man. We need to be better at films. The pop culture side. We had it on form in the last episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Blood Red Sky. That film is genius. It's a really good film. And if there's ever a film that makes you, I mean, are vampires real? But
it's like 30 Days a Night on a plane.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Basically.
It is, yeah. It's very... And it's different. It's the other way around, isn't it? Rather than the vampire being the villain, it's a group of terrorists.
It's, yeah. There's one vampire on this, and she's travelling on plane by night with her son. Because I think she wants to get to the cure. Someone thinks they have a cure.
The doctor's found the cure, or believes he has a cure, transfusion or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're on there, and the plane gets hijacked.
So she's going...
She gets shot, doesn't she?
So then there's a terrorist organisation on the plane.
It's genius. It's a really good film, actually.
Yeah.
If you've got Netflix, watch that film. It's really good.
There's one terrorist who.
The one that pretends to be the gay steward.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute prick.
Yeah.
He's a vicious, horrible bastard.
Yeah. And he hams it up. I swear to God. Every time he was on, I mean, it was entertaining. But every time he came on, I thought I'd sat on the remote and put a fucking Daffy Duck fucking video on. Honest to God, he was squirming around. He was going, "I'm a vampire."
But it made
he
it.
Didn't say that.
I think it made. That's what vampires are. Hello, I'm a vampire. It made it quite unbelievable when he did become a vampire, but how fucking over the top and flamboyant he was as a steward.
Hilarious. It was amazing.
The one thing that got that film was the really I enjoyed it, but it was the really shit dubbing.
Yeah,
it's a foreign film, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
The dubbing of that film.
I think it's one of them. You can do.
I liked it.
You can only do so much.
Although, what's his name's it? McTavish is in it.
McTavish.
Graham McTavish is in it.
Who's that?
He's the bald guy. He's the one that plays the SAS captain. He's the one that basically when the plane lands at the airport, he's the captain of the army or the obviously I don't know if it's the SAS.
Yes.
But why is he in it? Like, it's a foreign film, and like he speaks.
Are they supposed to be? Because he's Scottish.
He's Scottish, yeah. Ironically, as well, the link from that, he also plays Dracula, voices Dracula in the Castlevania series. There you go.
Fuck me, running.
There you go. There is the connection.
Did you see the fairly recently BBC 3-part
Dracula?
Yeah,
I really liked
good,
it.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I never watched it when it came out. I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I watched it on Netflix. Really good. I thought it was really good.
I think this. I think we should stay away from. Have you seen that? It's good. Because we'll be doing that for 10 minutes. But there's a film that I really want to see that I can't fucking find on DVD. And it's fucking... I found a copy on eBay for 50 quid.
What is it?
It's called Kiss of the Vampire. It's got Nicolas Cage in. he plays a businessman that for some reason thinks he's gone out on the piss, gotten bit by a vampire, which he hasn't. He's got a love bite. So then he starts going absolutely fucking mental. At one point, when he's convinced that he's fully turned into a vampire, he's running around the streets just going, I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire. It's Nicolas Cage going mental.
He's done some good films.
It's you know, you've seen the video of him going, it's very easy, it's A, B, C, D. That's from that film. And there's a bit where he is on the streets walking around, fully thinks he's a vampire, right? And he breaks a piece of wood off a pallet that's laying up against a fucking biffa bin, and literally to these people walking past goes, "Kill me, I'm a vampire." They weren't extras; they were just people. They were just random people.
He's done some pretty cool films over the last couple of years. Like some quite Lovecraftian, like that one.
I've not seen them.
Oh,
I really want to watch them, but I've just not been.
I told you to watch that one. The
Colour of Shape. Shape of Colour.
We're doing it again, anyway, but Colour, The Shape of Colour. It's brilliant. It's a really good film. That is, man. It's twisted. It's pretty twisted, actually. Not a vampire film, but
fair play. If you were a vampire, which one would you be, and why?
I'd be Lestat.
You'd be Lestat.
He's cool, man.
You'd be full on a French Duke.
I just think he's cool, man. He's
would
badass.
you not be fucking Blade?
You don't give a. I tell you what, Rod. Blade is a really good film.
Yeah.
And I'm dreading the reboot they're going to do for it because it's going to go fucking
I've heard
full
about
on
this.
Disney
I'm not
shit. I don't want to see it, man. No, I don't want.
Because he's Marvel, isn't he? Blade.
He's
a Marvel character.
Yeah, I just leave.
And he was in the comics. Wasn't a vampire.
No, he was like a pimp, purple.
He was
coat
a pimp vampire slayer, basically.
Didn't have any lot of
which
superpowers.
Still sounds sick.
Yeah, it's if anything, it's cooler than what he actually was.
If they remake it and it's Blade, it's basically
it will be Blade that you've seen, but a Disney-fied version of it, which is going to be fucking awful.
But if they made it and it's like Black Dynamite, but
that would
with
be cool.
vampires, that I'd watch that every fucking
and his
day.
villain is Maximilian from Vampire in Brooklyn, because that's who you want to face off against.
Oh my god!
I'd be Lestat. It's cool, man. I love that film. I love the whole. I don't know, man. Vampires aren't meant to be. Where's that dickhead gone? Aren't meant to be.
Bring him back up now. We've got a bit less serious.
Don't break him though. I've got to send that back.
You ain't sending me nowhere.
Are you going to have him in the goat sessions one?
I'm just going to put him. I'm going to put him for the goat sessions and see how long it takes him to see it ain't me.
I don't know.
He looks like it. If you could put a cock there, it looked like he'd be taking a piss. It would. You see that? He looks like he's holding his.
What is he doing with his hands?
I think he's kind of pulling his jacket down, but it looks like he's holding his cock for a piss. This is going to be terrible for the audio listeners. I'm very apologetic about that.
Yeah, we have a life-size cutout of Robert
Patterson.
Yeah, or Pattinson.
Is it Pattinson?
It's Pattinson, isn't it?
It's Patterson.
No, it's Pattinson.
It's our Pats.
But yeah, what was he saying? Where was he going? Oh yeah, so yeah, I don't agree with this fucking. Again, I mean, it's a. I don't know. It's who fucking come up with the fucking idea of Twilight?
Talking a shit fucking vampire film.
It's just crap, man.
Gerard Butler in Dracula 2000.
Jesus Christ.
Can we broach the subject?
Yes. I know. Yeah.
That film is fucking dreadful. I mean, it's
not even dreadful. It's useless as cinema.
It's so of its time. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's useless.
But, right, I'm going to spoil it because it's a bag of fucking wank.
It's a bag of dicks.
At the end, it turns out that Dracula isn't Dracula, was never Dracula all this time. It's just he became Dracula. But actually, it's Judas Iscariot.
Where'd you make the connection? And where's the link?
That's why, right, Dracula doesn't like crosses. That's why Dracula doesn't like silver, because that's...
the handful of silver. Yeah.
How he got paid for dobbing Jesus in.
No one watching that film went, whoa, what a fucking connection.
Fuck?
That's blown my mind. They were going, this is shit.
Yeah.
This is shit.
This is really wank.
It's fucking shit. Why would anyone connect Dracula with a fucking guy from whatever time period that was where Christ was alive? I don't know, 2000 BC.
Yeah.
Before Christ, after Christ. whatever.
2000 BC is before Christ, so that's 2,000 years before Christ was even about.
Dinosaurs.
We're dressed as priests. We're dressed as priests.
Yeah, but I mean, the crosses aren't even real. We have discussed that in future episodes. We will upgrade
The gowns we're wearing that we're adorned with will become
like a shit role playing game. We will level up and add to our armaments.
I can't help but think that we're here dressed as priests. Robert Pattinson is in between us, and the skull that's behind him has kind of taken on a bit of a halo around his fucking Swede.
But going back to the original question you asked me, the idea that anyone wrote a book where it was like, well, what vampires? They shouldn't burn in the sun. They shouldn't. What's going to happen is they're going to twinkle,
Sparkle.
They're going to sparkle, and it's going to be beautiful. No, man, I want fucking vampires that fucking rape and pillage, that don't give a fuck, man, woman, or child. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to fuck you, and I'm going to wear cool clothes while I do it.
Yeah,
that's a fucking vampire. Vampires are meant to be. They're like anti everything. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to do what I want. What was that noise?
I think someone was shouting a dog outside. But anyway,
that was a bit terrible.
That was slightly scary.
That was slightly unnerving.
But yeah, it was.
Hang on.
There's a bit in that film, like this fucking Twilight, when he reveals himself that he sparkles. Kristen Stewart's character looks at him in bewilderment and says,
"The most miserable woman in the world, by the way.
Fucking have a smile."
Like, fuck me.
Have one.
It's okay. It won't hurt.
But like, she goes, "You're beautiful." And like, when have you ever thought, yeah, she's alright. I wish she fucking sparkled though. What's your type? You know, the kind of
sparkling.
I like someone laid back, good sense of humour, rolls around in glitter. No, you don't, do you?
I want the type of person that lives in clouds, but when the sun occasionally pops up, he sparkles like a turd in glitter. That's what I want to see,
mate.
I mean, the thing is, as well, I should say, I think he's a good actor. He's been in some good films.
He's good actor.
He's been in some good films.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
It was. It's not. We've got him here. Sorry, Rob.
Sorry, mate.
Rob.
Sorry,
No,
mate.
Pat's gone.
I think Sonny's going to love him here, though. I do. Has he been in any rom-coms that Sonny's going to appreciate?
Oh, well, mate, it's people just shouting outside. It's fucking scaring the shit out of me. Maybe they're vampires. Maybe they're not. But, sorry, there's so much dead air because we're just listening to the scary shit that's going on outside. So, yeah. Let's talk. We've come to a bit of a fucking
impasse.
We have. We had so much last week, and we've come here.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That just scared the shit out of me. Then I just looked in the window, and there's someone behind me. It just freaks me out.
Right.
I don't think it's unhealthy that the podcast is coming to a.
Do you think we should? You've got a summary.
I have got something. Yeah, as I did with the and I do want to hopefully try and do it with every single one. I had a poem from Edgar. So I wrote something myself. It's not necessarily a poem. It isn't a poem. It might be a poem.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to surprise you all with my sincere and beautiful writing ability. I just smashed my glasses on the. So really, I just wanted to write. I ain't there yet. Yeah. So I'm talking. Right. What are you doing? Don't rush your man.
Sorry, I was getting you button.
This ain't Twilight. You don't need to rush this out yet.
Let's run really fast with you on my back. That'd be amazing.
Another thing we should mention with Twilight as well. When you put a stake through a vampire, I mean, they turn to ash. Buffy the Vampire Slayer said, "Oh no, they burn up." Cool.
No, they explode. They'd always like it hit
internally combust,
and then they just pop.
But Blade, he threw something. They just become like pustule, blood filled.
No, that was one specific vampire in that film, wasn't it?
No, when he throws all them darts at people down the corridor, they all blow up as well.
Oh no, of course.
I swear to God, I keep thinking there's people out there looking at it.
It's terrifying me now.
Looking at him in the window. Yeah. So where was I going with that? Where was I going with that now? I don't know.
Summary.
So yeah, last time I did a poem that kind of like encompassed, I suppose, what I thought. Not only that episode, but all the episodes coming.
Yeah.
This one, I wrote more about vampires.
Go for it. Do you want you?
Maybe, yeah. Let's do it. So.
Sorry.
With some technical difficulties here. So, I've heard in many cities and towns, it's said, some dreadful things being done, which are below praise and great foolishness, and a lack of knowledge of people over the work of the devil. For that our enemy, the most unclean, the devil, where he finds an empty place to dwell and to do his will. There he indeed dwells, and many a times with deceiving apparitions towards of evil deeds, and he lures the people and leads them towards his will in order that every wretched people like them to sink down to the depths of damnation of eternal fire. There are some foolish people that say many times when people die they rise and become vampires and kill those alive, which death comes in a violent way and quick towards many people.
I like that.
Boya.
So you've been with us on part 2 of the Wolf Thing Witch Massacre. Thank you for watching again. I want to hit this again because I have had a couple of ghost stories, but I do want some more. I want some more of your ghost stories.
Have we had some?
I've had a couple, yeah. I've spoke to people and they've given me a couple.
That's amazing.
Actually, I know you've just done your ending, but there's something I wanted to talk about.
To be honest, right, and I'll tell you what, right, I just want to say, we work really hard on this podcast, and I think that may be why it comes across that it looks like we haven't. Yeah. We have, and I think we've come in with the anticipation.
I think we need to hit our stride a bit.
It was going to be like the last episode, which it wasn't. They're both great episodes, but I've also missed a slide as well that I wanted to say about.
Fair play. Well,
it doesn't matter.
I'll do mine, and then you do yours.
Can we edit that round so I'll do that at the end?
Yeah. Well, we can try. But basically, in watching some stuff, there's a game, a role-playing game called Vampire the Masquerade.
Masquerade, yeah. There's a new one coming out.
Is there?
Yeah.
Are you playing it?
I mean, I don't really play
Are
them.
you dabbled?
I'll have a go in it, but I mean... But I know there's a new one coming out.
It gets to the point where people are dressing like Lestat. And going to a village hall in an Uber. Their real name's Kevin. I mean, fucking God bless you. I love it, but...
Are you on about like live action role play?
Oh, God, I want to go, don't you?
I mean, I'm on about there's an actual video game called Vampire Masquerade.
No, there is, but I think that's where it started.
No, there's a live action role, bit like that film with, what's his name?
No, yeah,
we're doing it again. But yeah.
That's what they do. They've been playing that, and then they laugh.
Live action role playing,
yeah. So then they go to events and meet up, fucking fully dressed as French noblemen. But some of them...
Shall we go?
Mate, it's amazing because some of them are like Lestat and some of them are like fucking Blade Leather Daddies.
That's such a mixture
fucking
of people.
Insane. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. But a mate of mine, Kane, told me, I was talking to him about this podcast and like eventually doing vampires. And he told me about a kid at school that was convinced he was a vampire to the point where he used to grow his nails out, sharpen them. At one point, he tried to sharpen his own teeth, which didn't go very well.
I can't imagine it would.
And he said that he used to hiss at people, and he tried to bite Kane a few times. And when he was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
I'm a vampire. A vampire.
He went. No, like it's a mercy. Like I was going to grant you everlasting life. He went. He told me that, and I went, mate, you could have had it all. Imagine if he was. Just let him give you a fucking snogger and a boy shirt. You could have been fucking living it up.
Could have been, yeah.
But
I don't think he would have.
I'd love to go as a bit of an eye on the wall to one of these. I don't know if there's many in Britain. There's got to be like one in London every year.
There's a lot of things that go on within that type of people that are into that sort of thing. There are. I mean, I can't imagine.
I'm going to turn up dressed as Laddie from Lost Boys. You know, the little lad one that, oh my God, it's the Attack of Eddie Monster. And he's going, damn.
I think I'd just buy some like really crappy traditional Halloween and just put white streaks in my hair, just paint my face white.
Oh, you'd go as Grandpa Munster.
I'd just go the full on, like, just, are you really coming as that? You're not going to put any effort in, you're just going to come as that? I fucking am. Yeah, that's right. What I'm doing. I'm rocking up as this
Fair
one.
Fair play. Fair play.
Why not? Do it. We'll get invested. We'll get involved. We'll do it. That could be one episode. We could do a live episode. We'll just turn up.
That was kind of a writing about vampires, but we do want writings about ghosts. So Give us your fucking ghost, you prick. The email will be here. It is, if you're listening, it is give us your ghost at thegoatsessions.com. We want to hear your spooky stories. We'll be telling them on October's episode.
I think that one's going to be a long episode.
It will be a long episode.
Because we're going to do one a week anyway.
Yeah.
As we said, I mentioned this last time.
In October, we're going to do one a week about the films.
Yeah, about the films that inspired the name of the podcast. Yeah. Which this little fucker will not be associated to.
He's not here.
Twilight's not in it.
Get down, Cullen, you prick. I didn't remember that. Edward Cullen.
It's because you're a fan.
I'm a massive fan.
You're a fan?
I'm a massive fan. This geezer I used to work with, his missus was obsessed with it. And when the last one came out, they went to the cinema to watch all of them.
Jesus.
I
must admit, I was with a girl that loved them.
Yeah.
Won't mention her name.
Yeah.
For many years ago.
Yeah.
She was obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And I never understood it.
Did you watch them?
Yeah, I watched them. I've
watched all of them.
I don't think I watched all of them because I don't think they were all out at the time when I was with her. Then we're talking. This is 10 years ago now.
I've watched all of them.
More than that.
Because I watched 2 of them because I was like, what's the fucking obsession?
Don't they have a fight in the very last one? It turns out that it was all a dream.
I don't know.
Like it wasn't real. Like they go back into. I can't.
There's a bit where the 2 vampires on it have a baby and the werewolf kind of psychically matches itself with it.
Oh yeah, so he becomes her future partner.
Yes.
Very fucking weird.
Weird.
I've seen that one. Yeah, she breaks the bed when she's giving birth or something like that.
They break the bed when they're fucking, apparently.
No, I can't remember it. I remember they go to some desert island for their honeymoon or something like that, and then the whole film is around the fact that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And that her dad doesn't care.
And that she can't get pregnant because he's a vampire and she's not. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid
film.
It's a fucking stupid film.
Stupid film.
But yeah.
Terrible.
That's them. That's those. So yeah, give us your ghost, you prick. Well, you're not pricks. We love you. Thank you for watching part 2, Vampires.
It's been really good.
The Wolf Thing Witch Massacre. If you've not watched part 1 on exorcisms, please go back and watch that. And from me, Father Jenk, thank you very much and goodbye.
And from me, Pastor Maul, take it easy. Be careful out there. Stay away from the darkness. The band.
Wise and priestly words. Thank you very much. And
Believe
have
in
a
a
good
thing
night.
called love.
Love is only a feeling. Drifted away.
Love on the rocks.
Oh, God.
I'm just going to come out of all the names.
Oh, right. I love you. Goodbye.
Peace.